welcome to episode 171 of Floating Through Film. It is your host Luke, and today we are starting a new series, one that I have chosen. I don't know if have we alluded to this, I guess, in other episodes? I don't know. We might have, but my new series that I've chosen will be on Jacques Rivette, the French filmmaker from the French New Wave, whose films I've gotten really into like the past year, I would say. So yeah, excited to go through 10 of his movies. But before we get into it, let me introduce my co-host Blake.
What's up?
And Danny.
Hello.
I guess before we really introduce him and everything, I'll just ask y'all your exposure to him. What do you think about him? Do you know anything about do you have any observations so far about his style, maybe his influences, or just I don't know what he's about? Blake,
I mean, I have very little exposure to him. I've apparently seen The Nun. I literally thought Celine and Julie Go Going was the only movie I'd seen from him.
You've also seen Paris Belongs to Us, I think.
Have I? I have seen Paris Belongs to Us. I do actually still remember a little bit of that movie now that I think about it. Yeah. It's shot beautifully. No, but so I don't know much about him, obviously. These two movies together, they're pretty cool. I do like Celine and Julie Go Boating. Probably a lot more, honestly, when I rewatched than I did the first time.
Okay.
I don't know why. Probably just because I'm more in the headspace of these two girls. I don't know. And I knew what to expect going in, probably.
Yeah, that's a big part of it.
But I mean, both these movies have similarities in just exploring female companionship and how they are dealing with kind of the city together.
Yeah.
What is the other one? Le Pont du Nord. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, with the
second movie.
Le Pont du Nord.
Yeah, that one is way more. You said it was more depressing.
Yeah.
I feel it's. I thought it was more lighthearted, honestly.
It's funny depressing though.
It's like a game, and they
both are a game. That's
definitely.
one of his my categories for his style, because I have 4 of them.
Okay. I like that. I mean, because I've only seen obviously it's been a long ass time since I've seen The Nun and Paris Belongs to Us, but these two definitely are. They definitely feel like games. But
yeah, there's basically all his movies.
No,
so you just made an observation about style. Good job,
yes,
Blake.
yes.
There we go.
But do you have any other have you noticed anything else about maybe what he does at all? I guess it's maybe harder for you because you haven't seen.
I mean, yeah, it's harder for me, but I do like just how much time he spends in the city and just filming it, I guess.
Yeah, okay.
At least in Le Pont du Nord. Celine and Julie Go Going, there's some city stuff, but it's also just more it feels like single location a lot of the movie, honestly.
Oh, yeah. He kind of alternates between the two.
Yeah, but he does move his camera a lot, I was definitely noticing. He has some interesting camera movements, though, also, especially in Le Pont du Nord, with all the fucking,
roundabouts.
Just the roundabouts, oh my god. I love so much of that shit.
Yeah.
But no, just a lot of walking and shit, A lot of people just hanging out. I kind of like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
Yeah.
So.
He does that a lot, yeah, I guess.
I don't know any greater meaning or themes, I guess, in those movies yet.
Okay.
Maybe I'll have to get more of that whenever I see.
Really, not even Celine and Julie.
Celine and Julie, I think it's.
Besides, I mean, Celine and Julie. That's kind of just the creation process.
But I think that's going to be basically all of his movies.
Is
or
it?
a lot of his movies.
Okay.
Yes.
Even the creation of a conspiracy, in
That's,
okay,
yes, that.
Okay, yeah.
Also, the Le Pont du Nord it's quite. There's also some other ideas in Le Pont du Nord.
Oh, I mean, all these movies.
Yeah, but I see. I know what you're saying. Yes, exactly.
He actually can fill so many ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I can go then. No, I've been getting more into Rivette. After I knew you, because you've known for a while you're gonna pick Rivette.
Yeah.
So I watched a few over the last couple weeks. So I've seen now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
Damn.
Which is actually more than I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen The Nun. But I think originally why I didn't get into him, when we first started the podcast, what episode is that? Episode 3?
Yeah, it's
crazy.
Episode 3, go listen.
You don't have to.
I mean, after you listen to
don't
see how much better or worse.
Yeah,
maybe someone's no, I prefer the old them.
I would love to meet that person. And know what the fuck's wrong with
Like, I
them.
prefer like Citizen
I
Kane.
could barely even formulate a word.
Citizen Kane versus
My
Metro
high school
Bay.
me could not even barely couldn't comprehend this movie. Like
You
No,
were fresh
I
out
just-
of high school.
You didn't even hear me compare Citizen Kane us to Citizen early episode 30 Citizen Kane. So I was like,
oh no, do not do that.
yeah, no, I'm sorry, I didn't do that. No, because I think all three of us went back and listened to it just because we were curious, and it was only an hour. Like we spent like 10 minutes on the movie.
Yeah, on this movie, which
Celine and Julie.
it's
But
insane.
anyway, to get back to so I'd seen Celine and Julie because I've read, just some of the Kahir articles and stuff, and I know some of their history, and you just learn about Rivette through that.
Yeah.
And then obviously we've done Godard through Luke, Truffaut. We've done
Tati.
Former Blows.
Yeah.
We've done a lot of French directors. Just as you're watching film, it's basically impossible to avoid these. This kind of just knowing who he is at least.
Yeah.
But it's funny, just doing more research for this episode and for this series. A couple different videos I watched, people would always mention especially Jonathan Rosenbaum. He's really good at Rivette. He has this book he edited with just a bunch of interviews and his interviews and some of his texts, I think.
Yeah.
But he mentions the intro Rivette's always been the least popular of the Kahir film, basically in terms of popularity in film circles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Over time, Godard basically hit it off right away. Basically even how their career started.
Yeah.
Paris, what's his first?
Paris Belongs to
Paris,
Us.
He started filming that before Breathless.
58.
Yeah,
and then it came out in 62, basically.
Yeah, it came out after.
And you know what's funny? Have you ever heard about the backstory of why he wrote the script? Ross Salini was like, "Yo."
No, actually, I almost brought that because Gallagher spends a lot of time on that. Basically, that whole ordeal.
Okay, yeah.
Of Ross
really?
Salini basically promising all the young, critics that Kahir he was going to produce their movies for them because he was really into getting young people into cinema and stuff.
Yeah.
And then basically halfway, he basically kind of bailed on the project, or that's how they saw it, at least initially. And so a lot of them hated Ross Salini for a little while.
Yeah.
But then a lot of them would give him credit later in terms of he basically forced us to realize that we had to make movies ourselves, that kind of thing, anyway, yeah. So he basically kind of bailed on Rivette and Truffaut too, but then that's how they basically had to find other ways to get the movie made.
No, yeah.
I think it was Truffaut and Rivette mainly.
Yeah.
I don't think Godard as much, but
yeah.
Either way, so Rivette was basically the first one to try to of these critics to try to make his own movie.
Yeah.
And Rosamond in his intro, he mentions how he has two quotes, one from Truffaut and one from Godard. I want to read. So first he said, Truffaut said, "Of all of us at Kahirs, he was the one who was most fiercely determined to become a director."
Yeah.
And so obviously that kind of goes with him wanting to make films first. And then Godard said, "Someone like Rivette, who knows the cinema much better than I, shoots little. People don't speak of him, or hardly ever. If he had made 10 films, he would have gone a lot further than I." And basically, Rosemont said the same thing. He was basically the most cinephile at. He was.
Oh yeah, he definitely consumed the most movies out of all.
Which is crazy because all of them were huge cinephiles.
No,
so that's obviously a huge thing.
Yeah.
But you don't really get that right away from his movies. I don't
I guess I can see.
As Godard, he's very open about it. His references are very
Well, Rivette doesn't really tell you
surface.
much directly.
Unless he is a little more classical, I guess. Just
yeah.
I'm kind of going all over the place because I have a bunch of just random notes.
Yeah.
But basically, to get back to my main point, so I'd watched Celine and Julie for the podcast, and then I'd watched The Nun, and it's looking back, it's those are the two worst movies. Rivette's someone you need to honestly start with later. I would start later.
No, that's what I say. It's his later ones are almost more accessible in a way.
They are.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going back now and watching these movies for the ones I watched to get ready for the series. It's I have a totally different opinion of him already.
Yeah.
And it's more of an opinion I would have thought reading some of his reviews. We just did a director that has a very very big commonality with Rivette.
In terms of what,
in terms of influence. Probably biggest influence. Maybe it's basically Satyajit Ray. They both have Renoir as honestly maybe their biggest influences for both of them.
That's all.
Who else would you say for
Hawks, Mizoguchi.
Yeah, I can see that, but just like
Lang is a big one.
yes, but
too.
like all those are you're saying like just filming like
you're talking
style,
about, like-
but just like he knew Renoir like way better than all the other ones. Like I was reading this first interview he does, and he's talking about like he did for how do you say it?
Liam Morphu.
Liam Morphu.
Yeah.
Yes. Interview he did for that, and he basically talks about how like this documentary he filmed in Renoir, this 3-part documentary that's on Criterion.
Yeah.
Each part's like an hour and a half.
No, I want to watch.
He said like that
yeah.
basically changed like his way of like filming, like in like terms of like being improvisational and stuff.
Yes.
I was like, and then he's like talking about that documentary,
Yeah.
and I was like, damn, I gotta watch this now. But basically, this kind of playful game kind of attitude towards like filming.
Yes.
I really like it, like especially if I like the themes. I've noticed that with Rivette too. Is like I like Celine and Julie's themes a little bit more than at least first watch for Le Pont du Nord. Like it was kind of hard for me to.
Le Pont du Nord was more abstract.
Yeah, it was more abstract. It was kind of hard for me to put everything together on the first watch.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean that's part of it though.
No, yeah, it's like
that's part of it too. Maybe I don't know if there's anything.
Le Pont du Nord, it's also coming right off his like mental breakdown apparently too. Or maybe it's in the midst of it. Actually, I don't know.
I was listening to someone. It might have been
He had like a
Rosenbaum
huge mental
saying,
breakdown like this.
Yeah, like he had started another movie, filming another movie, and they basically stopped after 2 days or something.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was related to this or
No,
if that was
yeah.
a different mental breakdown.
No, he had like one major one, I know.
No, but yeah, the Renoir influence, like even if it's like maybe stylistically, like it's obviously huge on him.
Yeah.
And then also Cocteau, too.
No, because yeah, he like basically. What inspired him to like actually want to make movies was he read like a book on the creation of Orpheus, I think.
No, it was
Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, Beauty and the Beast. The making Cocteau took notes.
Yeah, it was yes.
And
notes.
you can get that book too. I actually downloaded it.
Oh, for real? Damn.
Yeah, but then I was like, it's like actually it's kind of long. I was like, I have to spend more time.
I've actually seen Beauty and the Beast too, but it was like a long time ago. The Cocteau version.
Because I was going through my notes I did for the first episode we did. For the Celine and Julie, and I had like because I had watched this old this 2004 interview Rivette did for Celine that he did for Celine and Julie. I guess like that would have been 23 years later or whatever, even more than 20, 25 or whatever. What year is Celine and Julie? Like
74.
74. Okay, yeah. Damn, that would have been like 30 years later.
Yeah.
And he quotes Cocteau in that, and he says, "The fantastic must be logical." And Rosenbaum had something similar about like he had quoted a Rivette interview where he asked him, "Do you believe in the spiritual?" And Rivette said, "Possibly, but only through the material, through the concrete." And it's like I really get that through his movies of like
it's like
he definitely believes in this like. I also rewatched Alice in Wonderland.
After
rewatching Celine,
I watched that recently.
Connections. It's like to me, I see the similarities and differences just like comparing the two, where it's like. Alice in Wonderland is like very fantastical, you know, like everything is fantastical. Where like both of these movies, they're fantastical in how they feel, but they're also just like they're filmed.
No,
very direct.
Yeah, he has this,
he's
like,
only
weird,
filming material things.
This weird, like magical.
There's no like technique. There's no like cinema.
No,
there's no technique.
That's one of the main things
like,
that fascinate me about Rivette is like he has this like weird thing like with like magical realism.
Yes.
It's almost
exactly.
like he's. Things will happen.
Except for the dragon at the end of
But even then, the way he films it,
it's all filmed real, but still, that's like so magical.
No,
you know,
but like he does it. You can see that all the time. Like
yes, exactly.
Oh, like I can't wait to get to week 5 in the story of Marie and Julienne, like that movie. Some of the shit that happens in there,
yes,
like
a crazy ghost story.
Yeah, it's like
it reminds me of Doobie though in some ways too.
Yeah, I should rewatch that then.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
So him saying that makes me think that his belief in this world is like it basically is just a script that we're all in. Like there's greater creators that are manipulating us and what we're seeing based on like just what like their own whims basically.
Yes, yeah.
I think I think there's like a tension there where there's that part and then there's also like the Celine and Julie part where it's like we also can write our own script. You know, we don't have to like. Yeah. Almost like follow the conventions of just what's
that's
going
really
on
the main
in front
tension
of
of Le Pont
us,
du Nord between the two characters.
Yes,
too.
exactly.
Like,
yes, yeah. Like how much control do we actually have,
or
are we just like trapped?
Yeah.
You know. But there is like he's also obviously really big into the theater.
Oh yeah, no, I'll get to that. Yeah,
Okay. No, let me let you go. Let me.
Okay.
Why did you pick?
Well, Rivette, I watched. I forgot what got me. I think it was because people were talking about, like, I just saw like a lot of people talk about him. I mean, like, his movies, they look very interesting. Like on like when you're looking at them, and then a combination of that and like people talking, like reading people's like writings about him. I was like, it was like last year, like beginning of last year. I was like, like I'm interested in like watching more of them. And I think I rewatched Celine and Julie Go Boating first, if I'm not mistaken.
You did, because I think I remember you telling us about that.
I think that was what kind of like sparked it. Like that was like my like dive into it, and then I kind of just kept exploring, like watched like stuff like Up Down Fragile, Va Savoir, like Story of Marie and Julienne, Duelle, and like I found him infinitely fascinating. A lot of reasons we kind of already said, like how he kind of like how he treats his subjects, almost like how nonchalant he kind of goes, but then how like mysterious. Like one of the things that I found most fascinating about him is just how mysterious like a lot of his movies are, which is one of the main things I'll talk about here. He can kind of like Rivette can just paint anything as like a mystery. Like he'll have a random character come out of nowhere, and then they'll be like the most mysterious thing you've ever seen, or he'll make a doorway mysterious. He can make anything mysterious because like in a way like he's almost like showing like how certain aspects of life are mysterious that we don't really even think about.
That's another one of his big influences.
Bresson, yeah.
That was even one of my topics for Bresson was like mystery. Basically, that was like
yeah. Which is one of my topics, I guess too. But
okay.
I'm probably not gonna go as in depth as you, but I just kept finding more fascinating. And I kind of love how long his movies are because in a way like they really need to be that long in a way. Like I at least how I see it, like
so
like being in those worlds for you. I feel like.
Because this guy relates to.
I don't think his style works well if you're not because he's very focused on like the mise en scène kind of like
exactly
duration.
Yes.
And like I feel like it like there's certain like concepts he has. For example, we're gonna talk about week 4 Va Savoir, which the plot of that movie, if it was 90 minutes, it would be like a American rom-com basically. But stretching out by 4 hours, it becomes something like fascinating, I don't know. It just allows him to do his like thing, I guess you could say. But yeah, there's infinitely things fascinating about him. I love his writings too. He's a great writer. Has some of the most interesting pieces of writing I've ever read on certain films. Yeah.
No, I remember. That's like when I picked The Southerner, I read his. I still think about it all the time. Like I always want to read it.
And that's a good. Reading that, his style makes sense. If you read that, actually, like it kind of like his style like kind of follows that.
Wait, have you seen Beyond a Reasonable Doubt?
I have not. I want to watch that because
I might watch that this week because Rosenbaum in his intro, he says, but he actually says this great thing about Rivette. He's like, reading Rivette's early criticism basically can help inform his later movies, and then also vice versa. Like his later movies can also inform like what he's talking about his criticism too. And like he talks about how I'm pretty sure it's Beyond a Reasonable Doubt and Noroit. He's like basically Beyond a Reasonable Doubt can help you understand Noroit a lot better, and then vice versa. And he's like basically the criticism of the films go hand in hand. He's like basically that's basically what Rivette's films are about. Is like basically being a critic while you're watching, like especially even Celine and Julie, like you're participating in your viewing and being critical and not just like accepting what's going on. They're trying to change things, and even like the girl on the bridge. I'm just gonna say the bridge or what's it?
Le Pont du Nord.
It's the North Bridge, right?
Yeah, something. Yeah,
I think it translates to North Bridge.
Basically, yeah.
I looked it up.
Le Pont du Nord.
It's not that hard.
I like saying Le Pont du Nord. Le Pont du Nord.
I knew you were going to do the accent.
Le Pont du
Nord. No, but yeah, just that, like, his... we mentioned that with, like, that's what I liked about all these French New Wave directors, too, is...
Yeah.
Like, they also wrote, but...
No, yeah, for sure.
Godard also made that interesting point where, like... Because you mentioned his interest in duration and mise en scène.
Yeah.
And, like, it seems like more and more, just, like, with popular cinema... action cinema, whatever, it went to is like those two things are just not important. That's why he seems so off base, you know.
No,
like, even like we were hesitant to watch him, even when you picked him.
Yeah,
you know, it's for like those same reasons. It's like, oh, they're like 4 hours long, you know.
Yeah,
like all of his
and like
shortest movies.
A big part about him, which I'm about to talk about, is too like he like. There isn't like a necessarily like very like obvious endpoint to his movies. They're kind of more about kind of like the process in a way. I guess that's Bresson thing actually.
No.
Like there isn't really like there isn't like a narrative kind of like like emotional or just like there's not really a climax of any point.
I love how like Pont du Nord ends.
It just kind of I love it.
It is honestly it's a great ending.
Oh god, yeah.
And Celine and Julie's is one of the best. I mean that's a great ending also.
No, yeah, I guess that one. It's like it kind of is like a climax, but like also but like they don't treat it as that in a way. It's like
no,
kind of treated
now that we're talking about Bresson, like I always think about this Tarkovsky quote where he's like, where he was kind of dissing like Fellini and who was it, Bergman, and he's like even Fellini and Bergman they have to like bow to their audience, but like Bresson doesn't think about he thinks about no one when he makes his films except for himself. It's like Rivette's not because like that's what makes Bresson and Rivette a little different too, or actually maybe a lot depending on how you're seeing it. Is like Bresson in a way does see himself as like this like total creator, like I'm controlling every image.
Oh yeah,
like. Almost like if I have to compare to basketball, like Chris Paul, LeBron James, like I'm controlling every possession or whatever, you know. But Rivette, you can tell he's a lot more like he wants the actors involved. He wants to leave the camera wide a lot of the time so that the actors can just do whatever they want. I was even reading like for the Leah Morphew interview he did. He's like, I would just film until the reel ran out a lot of times, you know, or like until the actress decided when to quit. You know, it's like I can't imagine Bresson ever saying anything like that.
No,
you know?
because in one of the chapters, in one of the chapters of the book,
just like,
I read
exactly.
The author opened with a Bresson quote and a Bazin quote that kind of contradict each other to talk about like how he uses like how Rivette like uses theater or whatever.
Okay.
And the quote by Bresson is, "There can be no marriage of theater and cinematograph without exterminating both."
Without exterminating both.
Yeah, and then and then the Bazin quote is, "The more the cinema seeks to be faithful to the text and its theatrical requirements, the more necessary it will be for it to explore its own language more deeply." Like that's kind of what you were kind of saying, like about like Rivette kind of in a way trusting the material more, just like the.
I think you use a really key word, like honestly, like it needs to be written about in some case, like duration, because it's not just like duration in terms of the film, like I mean, it is part of that too, and just like you leave a shot going instead of cutting, you know. Yeah. But it's just crazy. Like I've mentioned Bergson a few times. Like that was like Bergson's like key word in philosophy was duration. Like this idea of like time was for him like time is duration.
We talked about this.
We've talked about it a few times,
especially with Psy, because that was a big part of a lot of the later movies with him. Obviously, with the digital age,
it's like basically making you feel time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
And that's like also a very key part of like Deleuze's time image concept is like basically all these newer films are art cinema that he respects is about filmmakers like Rivette making you feel what time is. Like instead of making you feel time indirectly through movement or action or whatever, it's like just movies that are directly about time now. That's like actually a commonality between.
And there's some great Deleuze quotes about Rivette too. I don't know if you've
honestly
gone back.
No, I haven't actually.
No, there's some fire. There's one fire one.
And this
about...
is the thing. They were basically alive at the same time. And
like,
they might have talked and stuff.
No, because there's a Deleuze quote about Gang of Four, which is one of the movies we're doing. That's like so good.
Okay.
I'll bring it up when we do it.
Okay. Yeah. No, I haven't gone back and looked yet.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, it's based that idea of duration too.
Yeah.
I want to talk more about it too, especially in relation to Bergson, because it's like a lot of these filmmakers knew Bergson. Like they were basically like he would have known. Rivette would have known like Deleuze and Bergson, this kind of concept of duration, you know, and like making you feel that through basically instead of montage, almost anti-montage in a way.
Yeah.
Through like making you feel a shot instead of like there like a lot of people could be like, oh, you could cut so much out of Rivette films, you know, and just make it a montage or something, or just in a way they're right if you're talking about like, oh, we have to fit a movie in a 2-hour frame for a commercial audience or something. But like that brings back to that Bresson quote. It's like he's not making it for that. Like,
yes, exactly.
And that's why I was going to bring it up earlier. This Godard quote I mentioned at the beginning, where he's like, Rivette knew more about cinema and like how it worked better than any of us. It's like he could have made very commercial films if he wanted to. You know, like he knew the cinema that well.
Oh yeah.
It's just like he chose to do this type of movie where like
yeah.
he knew people are not going to watch this unless you're like really invested.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think there's a documentary that Claire Denis and Serge Daney made on Rivette on the Criterion channel,
No,
and he says in that documentary that like he doesn't really do montage because he's not good at it. Like that's his reason, which I don't know if he's like completely telling the truth there.
Bad, though.
No, I
it
think
also depends on how you define montage and stuff.
Yeah,
too.
like he doesn't cut as much because he feels like he's.
Even though like there
But
are
when
some
he
great
cuts-
like
he does like yeah.
Like
He has his
Celine
moments.
Julie boating, like whenever he has some long duration scenes, but then whenever he chooses to cut, it can
Yeah.
sometimes feel like so jarring.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the way he chooses to, which I like. I like
yeah,
it. in the
Yeah,
movie,
he has.
honestly.
He's probably not giving himself enough credit.
I know. Like,
But yeah. And also, there's also interesting things. I guess I'll talk about in a second, but kind of how he cuts together like his scenes to kind of like I don't know create geography of like cities, and I feel like in the Pont du Nord especially, which is a thing he kind of got from Hawks. But anyway, I pulled a Danny. I have some categories here.
Okay.
I'm not gonna like as in depth because I kind of just want, I'll try and bring them up whenever, kind of as we're talking about all these movies, kind of where I see fit. But basically, the 4 categories are mystery, and by the way, I got these basically from this book. I should probably shout it out. It's I actually don't have it up right now. What's it called? It's just called like Jacques Rivette by what's the name of the? I forgot their names. I'll be honest. Hold up. It's by. Actually, never mind. I'll
find it later.
I'll find it later. I'll find it later. I should have probably looked that up before, but I forgot. But basically, yeah, it's basically it's just called Jacques Rivette. It's like in a series of like. It's in like a series of books. Oh, it's Douglas Morey and Alison Smith. Their book on Rivette. It's like they have this. There's this like series on French film directors, and no, it's really good. Kind of because his style can be hard to maybe grasp, so like it helps to like read about like someone trying to define it at least. So the ones I have are mystery, story is space, space is story, games and play, and then theater and performance. So, first one, mystery. This one, I mean, it kind of makes sense, but basically, like, there's a few things here. There's a quote from the book where it says, Rivette's films are not mysteries, but studies of the phenomenon of mystery. They constantly interrogate the logic of secrecy itself, asking why we want to know and how the secret maintains our interest. So, like, how I kind of take that as, like, it's not necessarily when you think of like maybe how a lot of films approach mystery. A lot of it's about the result, kind of what's behind the mystery. But in a way, like I guess Rivette's more interested in kind of like I don't know, just like I guess the process of a mystery, or just like.
Well, we've talked about.
I kind of think of it almost like as like the textures of mystery, maybe.
I think this is part of like what you're saying is. Like, okay, I'm thinking of someone like Hitchcock, because who they all liked. Where you could say, oh, Hitchcock's films are about mystery, but in a way, okay, they are. But to me, they're more about, still what classical cinema to me is about kind of having a basically conclusion.
Yes.
Having a conclusion where there's like some kind of satisfying result. Like, in simple terms, why I hate the happy ending, Because there has to be, like, when you watch a classical movie, like, we have this desire to have this kind of satisfying conclusion.
Yeah.
And that's what you're talking about in a way is a lot of films they say they're about a mystery, but really the mystery solved at the end, right?
Yes.
That's what we want. We're actually we're interested in the mystery a little bit, but mystery solved. It's like, but in a Rivette film, the films feel like they're just about mysteries themselves, No,
like, yes.
Like Celine and Julie, like it does seem like they solve something, but it's not clear. Like,
no, it doesn't
if
really,
you have an answer to that, it's not like necessarily your like. It could be
Yes.
different than Blake's answer to that,
No.
or like.
Yeah, there's a.
It's like not like the same way of like we watch a Hitchcock movie. It's like, oh, the mystery solved. We all agree on what the mystery solved. You know what I mean?
No, yeah.
That's what I like.
We talked about another director by the name of Jacques Tourner, who also
I
deals.
thought I was going to say Tati. I was like, what?
No.
I was like, what the I thought you could say David.
David. There are a lot of Jacques.
Yeah, I like a lot of Jacques directors.
Yeah.
No, but like
it's not about that name, bro.
But Tourner, like he also does the.
Was that just
the
like
whole
John in
ambiguity.
French? And, like everyone.
Yeah.
It might be something like
probably.
that.
Yeah, that would make sense.
But he also does the whole like mystery and like what like he's very interested in like the supernatural and just like fantastical. And you definitely get that. You definitely get that feeling in like in a Rivette movie too.
Yeah, and it kind of how the book I read described it is basically like it creates like a labyrinth. His movies kind of become labyrinths in a way. Like I have a quote here: "By making a film that is ultimately about itself, about its own process of making meaning, Rivette has created a labyrinth. The labyrinth is formed not only from the maze of streets, stairwells, corridors, and rooms of the city, but from the very tendency of the text to fully in on itself, by turning in on itself. The labyrinthine text does not so much describe or circumscribes itself as lose itself, such that it becomes the whole of the labyrinth. One can never be sure whether or not one is really in it. The labyrinth is full of passages, doorways, but one can never know for certain whether they lead out of the maze or further into it. Is this uncertainty as to whether one is in the heart of the maze or at its edge, whether one is inside or outside it, that characterizes the labyrinthine narrative of Paris, Nos Appartient." It's talking about Paris Belongs to Us in this, but what kind of applies.
No, I see what they're saying.
Where a line or an action that seems to provide the key to a secret may only serve to increase its unfathomable mystery. I like that because, like, in a way, that's like it makes his. I feel like it also that kind of makes his films more interesting to go back to, because like you never really make sense of it the first time, like any of his movies. I would argue, like his movies, I have to watch multiple times to.
And then even then, this is kind of what I'm saying. Is like, what are we making sense of?
Yes.
Is it something like? Even if I say, okay, now I get it. Does that mean necessarily like that's what Rivette was trying to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like what I'm kind of. This is another thing. Maybe another word I should use is like his films are very open.
Yes.
Like, just because maybe if even I watch a movie for the third time, I'm like, okay, now this is what the movie means to me. That doesn't mean okay, that's what the movie means. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Versus like more movies where like they try to have that direct meaning involved. And one example of it now that I'm thinking of it is like in the same interview, which is funny. Another connection to an episode we did recently is the interview he did for Liam. Why can't I put that?
Liam Morphew.
Liam Morphew.
Come on. Crazy Love is the...
Crazy Love. Let me Crazy Love. Jacques Rivette was one of the person who did the interview. And he's the one who wrote that book on montage I was talking about in the Einstein episode. But Rivette was talking about how there's like a scene in that movie where the character does something and he says something like, the audience could either have one reaction where like they completely hate the character, or they can have the totally opposite reaction where they started to like the character. Okay. And I really like that. And he's like, they could even watch it another time and have the opposite reaction of the first time. And he's like,
times to me.
And he's like, I really like that. He's like, basically, I put that in my head. It's like that's basically how he wants all of his movies to be. You know, it's like just because you see a character do something on screen, not everyone's supposed to have the same reaction to it.
Yeah.
You know. And you like that can be very subtle, but like that's to me, I noticed that a lot, even just watching these, but especially like some of these other ones we're gonna watch later. Is like, you can tell he knows cinema so well because he knows like if you do certain cutaways and certain techniques of like using a close up and stuff, the audience will automatically like that character more, not like character more or whatever. That's why he leaves it for the most time in like wide shots.
No, one of my favorite ones is like if he wants the character to seem like almost like dangerous, or like he'll just have them walk into frame. From outside of the frame. Like I noticed that a lot in Up Down Fragile. Like there's that like one guy that like just like kind of wanders in to like two of the girls, and like he's like this like mysterious ass guy that was like maybe dangerous, maybe not. I don't know. I feel like he does that. He does that in like pretty sure like Paris Belongs to Us too. But, he does this also. I guess he does this with the Max character in this too, right? Kind of like. Yeah, but anyway.
But yeah, basically that openness of like how we can respond to the movie, you know.
Yes.
And even having like opposite reactions of someone else sitting right next to you or something, you know. Yeah. But like as we talk about this, maybe it's something also I want to mention is like, especially for the later ones we're gonna watch in the coming weeks, and maybe that's why I don't like these movies as much, especially the North Bridge is like. They're actually they come very easy to watch, to me. Like even if he becomes more even like.
You think that's a good thing?
Yeah, that's a good thing. Like even if he becomes more almost like relaxed, and I guess you mentioned one of the categories is like playful.
Yeah.
They become more just like. he's almost like that idea of like he was just letting the camera roll until the film reel ran out. It's like you can start to feel that a lot, especially like in like the story of Marie and Julianne and the painter one. I'm forgetting the name.
You're forgetting a lot of names here. La Belle Noiseux.
I cannot say that,
bro. Can't even speak French, bro.
Okay, no, I know.
It's not that hard.
You can't even say Le Pont du Nord.
Le Pont du Nord.
Le Pont du Nord.
No, but yeah. So, what was your what was the second category?
Oh, okay. So the second category is story of space, space of story.
Okay.
Basically, just the way he uses kind of like the like how he maps out his like kind of geographical environment, where he'll basically kind of like, especially with these movies, they kind of break it up into like different parts where like he uses a city in a certain way. The way he uses a city and the way he uses a house, which the house I'll probably talk more about when we get to something like Gang of Four or Marie and Julianne. It's a bit different, but the city is especially, I think, more applies to this episode.
Celine and Julie.
There is a house in that one.
Celine and Julie is a huge. The house like the second half of the movie, or maybe the last third. I guess.
But in a way, but it's more fragmented. The house in Celine and Julie. See, I was more focused on the city one, I guess, from what I was reading. But like he basically kind of like the way he uses Paris is that he'll like. This is one of the powers of editing, like the way you can kind of like. Map his characters' movements through a city just through the editing. That it can seem smooth, but like even though like basically like if you like ever go to Paris, like it's so illogical like how he gets them one place because it kind of matches like how his characters are kind of just like going through it all. Like Le Pont du Nord, like none of this shit makes sense. Like so of course they're going to be hopping around different parts of Paris, like, and so like basically like. There's a quote here. Rivette in the editing room then ultimately plots the city, which has been reeled by his actors' movements through it, according to a process association dictated both by the immediate flow of the images, by visual resonances with whatever obscure and complex quest guided the original exploration. Very different cities may result from such constructions. One might compare, for example, the open, bright, sometimes barren setting of Le Pont du Nord with the dark, predominantly underground world of Duelle. Both films which apparently obediently follow highly mobile protagonists as a motivated Parisian journey. So just like kind of like being used in the same spaces for like completely different things. That's kind of what cinema can do, I guess.
Yes.
But also just kind of like how his like I guess like how his kind of like characters are kind of motivated, you could say, because there's always his city quests always start with some like base. It could be like an object of desire or individual whose whereabouts or like activities are unknown. But basically, it just kind of like basically that kind of it's a driving force that eventually kind of like branches out into all these different little like sort of like intersecting like almost confusing sort of
to me honestly that
things.
driving force thing is like what makes him like almost like a like part of the like his inspirations is like classical cinema, you know. Like, that's how a lot of movies start.
Yes,
like noir or something or western.
No, yeah, because like we'll talk about like next week in like Duelle is just a jewel. Like it's just as simple as that. It's a jewel that like.
And obviously
like,
he's using genres.
Yeah. Yes.
Very
That's
aware, very aware of these
thank
genres
you for mentioning
and kind of
that.
like basically subverting them, like starting the genre of like how would a ghost movie be or whatever, and then being like, and then like that quote said is like you starting using the genre as a starting point, and then like basically branching out to wherever he wants to go.
Yes, absolutely.
From there. Yeah, no, that's a good. Especially that idea of like creating your own world using basically the actors, and then like he was a big believer in that like the stuff you're filming is like its own real world, you know, it's not just like a fake world too, like especially this process of filming as well.
No, and it's kind of these ways that kind of make, you could say like his movie's kind of unsatisfying too in a way, because like he'll like tease you this, but then just kind of like I don't know. Go like just like subvert your expectations, go wherever, and it's like a lot of people watching be like, what the fuck like happened to that? Like there has to be.
I mean that's kind of what I mentioned earlier about the whole like comparing him to Hitchcock, where it's like like having a that's what we want. Most people want in movies is at least a satisfying conclusion. You know, you're building up something. You know, like you have a start, finish, and end. So at least the end has to be like where everything comes together or whatever. Yeah. So when you mention like Rivette's like the opposite is. That's why I like I hesitate to use the word unsatisfying because this film's a very satisfying to watch. But
no, yeah. I
it's
meant
not
just like
but if you're expecting that,
yes,
they won't be
exactly.
satisfying.
That's
And a
what
lot
I
of people, that's what they expect when they watch a movie. Is like that's what when I say a classical movie is like that's what I'm saying is that kind of thing. And no, I've been reading a lot about this too. Just like in general, I've mentioned this about like Renaissance perspective and stuff in painting and how like basically abstraction was like a painting's way of like going away from that.
Yeah.
But Rivette was also very aware of these ideas in painting too. Of like, basically, this is what modern painting was going away from Renaissance perspective, which was very big on this kind of having a central point.
Yes.
You know, your eyes go to a central central point on the painting where all the points converge or whatever. And that's what abstraction was trying to get rid of this way, like where the eye has no place to go, almost in a way. You could say Rivette's films feel like that. Yeah. Actually, a lot of the French New Wave films feel like that, you know, or like they start to get away from this idea of having a, basically what you're saying, being unsatisfying in that sense, you know,
absolutely,
on purpose. But it's like not on accident, you know, like a lot of people, this is a bad movie, you know, like how do you not have a good ending? Like
there's no point.
How do you tease something and not come like did he forget like what are you doing? Like someone who's like not like someone who only watched like Tarantino movies and stuff, like if they watch this. They'll be like, "What is this?" You know? if they don't go with that kind of like attitude of basically enjoying the process itself, like we're talking about, like those are the things you mentioned, you know. But yeah, Rivette, especially, I love that he loves painting a lot too. He talks about it a lot in some of his writings. Really? But obviously, he has this painting movie.
Yeah, the painting movie. Does he have anything else that would allude to that too? Like.
I do. I need to watch some of them again in terms of like how he's using colors and stuff too. Okay. I think he's also very aware of that.
Yeah.
Especially, I've noticed like at least like the characters, like what colors they're wearing throughout.
Yeah. All right. So third category, games and play. This is kind of simple, but also like what he does with it is so like it's honestly like one of the main reasons why I love him. It's kind of like, so I guess a big thing about Rivette, and I guess a lot of the French New Wave guys we talk about a lot with Godard is kind of like how they're not as focused on narrative as like they think they're kind of the opinion that narrative is not as important as a lot of people think, and that's kind of something we parrot a lot. And I mean, of course, there's that quote in his review of The Southern where he's like, "Film is not a script. It's like it's just people walking, talking, you know, laughing or whatever." Yes. And even like there's a part of this book where it says like basically like. Rivette considered mise en scène like as opposition to the script, which he considered to be like basically meaningless.
Yes.
And like games of play, I feel like is a big part of that because like and like how he uses it because in a way like I feel like his games they're basically liberating the films from the demands of a narrative.
I like that.
It's kind of thing about it is like how a lot of films like we'll talk about like Pierre Le Fou. Kind of like the sensual pleasures of watching a movie. Like Pierre Le Fou, there's not really, you know, it's very much about like kind of just watching those two and kind of like all like the hijinks they get into, and just like the sensual pleasures from that. It's kind of why I feel like games and plays kind of like the kind of the playful nature and just like the games that his movies kind of entail, bring out of you, and then he goes a lot of different ways with it. Like there's kind of a long quote about Le Pont du Nord, how he's using Le Pont du Nord. Because I said when Rivette returned to filmmaking after a long hiatus in 1981, it was with a film which takes the trope of the game as its organizing principle, and gradually draws its free-flowing characters into the prescribed trackways of a dangerous tradition. At the start of Le Pont du Nord, the two women who arrive in Paris are unrestricted in their movements. Indeed, their freedom is their distinguishing mark, since Baptiste has neither past attachment nor precise mission, while Marie is just released from prison and left to her own devices in the city. Both circulate around Paris, interpreting as they choose the objects which they find there, accepting or rejecting them as they will, and following whatever street appeals to them. However, from the start, this freedom is to some extent a source of anxiety, although Marie celebrates both her liberty of movement and her free choice of action. She has a definitive purpose to her wanderings, reunion with her lover Julien and a new start in a new place. Baptiste, on the other hand, rejects the very concept of freedom, preferring to attribute all happenings to destiny, and her quest through the city for watching eyes and ambiguously vigilant lions is something which she explains by reference to it by a sinister outside agency. Her quest for an organizing center is perhaps hinted at for a penchant for circling movements around Max and his motorbike, so much more impressive and powerful than a scooter, or the haughtily menacing Lion of Belfort. Both women, although for separate reasons, seem to welcome their discovery among some papers acquired from Julian, of a map of Paris overlaid with a Jeu de Loi board. I'd probably mispronounce that. For Marie, this offers an innate clue to Julian's movement, so that to fall, it has an immediate purpose. But as also she is that familiar with the game. Inigo explains it to Baptiste. The pleasurable childhood shudder, which can be read in her description of this Je crois fait très pur. I actually don't know what they meant by that, but transmits both to Baptiste and to the spectators, who are both assumed to experience this. The fascination of this mysterious narrative framework. Yeah. So you kind of see what I'm saying, like the map kind of liberates her, I guess. Is a long way of explaining that. From kind of like her predestined, like, I'm going point A to point B, kind of this like her, she's kind of living life as like kind of like the narrative, you know. Mm. I have to go here, I have to go here. Yes. But that kind of, it's like this childhood almost wonder, you could say.
So like the maps give her like all these places now she can go.
Yes, yes.
I guess lets her choose.
Yes, exactly. Which I think is a big part of the movie, because we talked about like the free will versus not. Mm. Yeah, but the game's it's. But I mean, it's just like but the way he uses it in a lot of his films is just so fascinating to me. The kind of little games that.
Like both these movies, like they kind of go together. Just like when I think of them, I think of basically like you said both. Like there was something in that quote about like both of them becoming watchers.
Yes.
First, I want to mention like now that I'm thinking about it, like both of them become watchers. Vet had this quote where he's like. He says, "I want just to let things happen." Basically, and he says, "Like I want to be a witness." And he's talking about himself as the director. He's like, "I just want to be a witness to the events that are happening."
Yeah.
And like when I think about these movies, I think of like both of them, like in Celine and Julie, like them looking at the like when they're sitting on the chest and they're looking like at the movie or whatever they're watching, and then like in the North Page, I think of both of them like looking at the map together.
Yeah. And
it's like basically that they're both like the audience too, like the way we watch a film or way like you mentioned the map, how it kind of can liberate us, you know, like in our own ways of making choices, you know, instead of like basically liberating yourself from like classical narrative or classical ways of, you know, living.
Yeah.
In terms of like being restricted.
Yes, exactly.
And he's all about freedom, you know. Just like even the way his camera moves, you know, that's part of the duration why like his movies have to be that long, because like they feel so free once you actually watch them. You're like, okay, he can now like just move the camera just really slowly while the characters talking for the longest time, and like
or just be some random scene that's like kind of funny too. It's like so random, but like also kind of makes sense. Like like that one scene in Le Pont du Nord when she like faces off against the statue with the headphones.
Oh, okay.
And then she like takes the headphones the rest of the movie.
Yeah, she basically has those headphones. The rest of the movie.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, that's funny as shit.
It's like stuff like that's not ever explained, like where like a normal narrative would explain it. You know.
Yeah.
No, I do like that.
No, but basically the last kind of like I guess category here is play, theater, and performance, which basically like the theater is very important. I guess like. Kind of like the way kind of I guess I talk about this kind of with Cassavetes too, like the way kind of like how we kind of improvise through our like kind of like why theater is important, because we kind of like I don't know, the way we approach a lot of people approach life is very like spontaneous and almost like you kind of improvise your way through life. Like I guess I'll go ahead and read the Rivette quote about Gang of Four. I'll bring this back up when we do it, but. He has a quote where he says, "We are all rehearsing parts of which we are yet unaware, our roles. We slip into characters which we do not master, our attitudes and postures. We serve a conspiracy of which we are completely oblivious, our mask. This is Rivette's vision of the world. It is uniquely his own. Rivette needs theater for cinema to exist. The young girl's attitudes and postures constitute a theatricality of cinema, which, measured against the theatricality of theater, contrasts with it and emerges as perfectly distinct from it. And if the political, judicial, and police conspiracies weighing on us are enough to show that the real world has become a bad movie, then it's cinema's job to give us a piece of reality, a piece of the world, Rivette's project, a cinema that opposes the theatricality of that to that of theater. Its reality to that of the world, which has become unreal. Rescue cinema from the theater and the conspiracies threatening to destroy it." And it's like there's a point too, like where that I read from the book I'm reading, where he said like. Rivette, there's a difference between theatricality and theater, where theater, there's boundaries. You know, there's the space that the actors are working within. But theatricality, which is kind of like, you could say, like, I guess the kind of what I was talking about, like the kind of like improvisation aspect, or just like the ways like the role playing, the performances that his characters give on has no bounds, pretty much. And then like a lot of his movies too, I guess this is the kind of Renoir thing you were talking about. Like a big part of it is like a lot of his movies, he'll have characters who are working kind of in a theater production at the same time, and then contrasting that with the narrative. So kind of like almost being about like life and art, you know, inseparable.
The Golden Coach thing.
Golden Coach, yes, yeah.
Actually, now that you mention this, I need to read this quote because it reminded me of. It's kind of long. It's basically almost on the same level as that Southerner quote. And also he mentions because it was on Mont, or one of the people interviewing Rivette asked him. They were talking about the filming of Liam Morphew, and he said during the filming, one of the actors said, "You had a motto during. You used certain phrases of Renoir's as a motto during shooting, that the director should pretend to sleep." And then Rivette said, "Yes, the 3 weeks I spent with Renoir filming the programs for CNES, do the ones on Criterion, those 3-part series. Right after shooting and after finishing La Religieuse made quite an impression on me. After a lie, all of a sudden, here was the truth. After basically artificial cinema, here was the truth of cinema. I therefore wanted to make a film not inspired by Renoir, but trying to conform to the idea of cinema incarnated by Renoir. A cinema which does not impose anything, where one tries to suggest things, to let them happen, where it is mainly a dialogue at every level, with the actors, with the situation, with the people you meet, where the act of filming is part of the film itself. What I liked most about this film was enjoying myself shoot it. The film itself is only the residue, where I hope something remains. What was exciting was something creating a reality which began to have an existence of its own, independently of whether it was being filmed or not. Then to treat it as an event that you're doing a documentary on, keeping only certain aspects of it, from certain points of view, according to chance or to your ideas, because, by definition, the event always overwhelms in every aspect the story or the report one can make of it. And I love that. Just like, especially this idea of like, so like, it makes it different from Bresson. Bresson's like, for him, the filming is only just filming fragments, and then later I'm going to put the film together, almost like montage, or like Bresson or something in my head, and like, later the film will come. It's like, Rivette's almost saying the opposite. It's like, the moment of when we're filming together as the actors, like this almost theater part of it.
That's the theatricality part. Yes, theatricality is like it refers to the action, while theater refers to the place of action. Is what
interesting. But he's basically like this idea of bringing all the actors together, creating an event of cinema. You know, is like the actual film, and then he's like a documentarian, filming this kind of act of filming. You know. Like it's like Celine is like, well, both these movies are in that way about it, especially Celine.
Yes.
And then he's just kind of like almost like that's how he sees himself as the director, almost like a documentary, just kind of trying to be a witness. You know, and that's what I mean, like these kind of wide camera shots, you know, long duration shots, almost like he's like fucking David Attenborough or something, like just like watching like nature, you know, in long takes. Yeah. Almost better than that, because a lot of these documentaries like they cut all the time. They don't trust the audience. They don't trust you know. But yeah, it's great. Especially that, like, I love this quote of, the film itself is only the residue where I hope something remains. It's like, like he's almost saying the film is like not that important after. It's like really the act of the filming was the best part, you know. He early in the interview he talks about in the earlier films he was making, like The Nun and stuff. He didn't see it that way. He used to see filming as like kind of a chore, you know. And then like this is when he started to realize like actually the process of filming is like. Well, for him was really fun, you know. And then you only saw the editing; it's just a continuation of that process of filming when you're on set and stuff. No, it's really interesting, just like learning his theories and stuff, and especially like what like Rosamond was saying about like how you see his criticism match, like because he was writing his criticism in the 50s, you know, and 60s. I think like a lot of his, at least to me, his better movies are gonna only come in the 80s and 90s.
And
2000, which is crazy.
No, he died in like 2014.
We gotta stop saying, because we were saying that it's crazy for Godard too.
Yeah.
Even though we didn't do any like Godard yet on the podcast. But
yeah.
You skipped him.
Coward. Anyway.
He only likes early Godard.
Anyway. Yeah, I guess That was a pretty good intro to Rivette. We can go ahead and get into the movies now.
That was. I'm more excited to watch them than I was prior. So.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Just wait until the 4-hour and then 2-hour 40-minute movie weeks. And
you know that I can watch long movies.
I mean, I'm not seeing it. I'm just not seeing it. You know, when you're.
You did what Early Cotton or after that? You really
okay, that was like forever ago though. That was like ages ago. That was
coasting off that rep.
Coasting off that rep. Come on now.
The Dinosaurs were still around then, right? Like, shit. God damn. Century ago, shit. Anyway.
Honestly, wait, no, it doesn't start with it starts with them singing, right, in the intro?
Well, I was gonna ask you, wait, why are you...
Oh, just, I thought we were starting with
No, I was just gonna ask you overall thoughts for it. Damn, bro, shit. He's ready. He's excited.
I think so we were starting.
Well, I was like, we're getting into Celine,
okay,
like, basically,
yeah,
like...
thoughts on the movie?
Because
this is technically a rewatch.
Yeah.
I really love the first two parts of the movie. And I still like the end. I don't know, like maybe just the melodrama. I just hate melodrama so much. Even the parts where like they're criticizing them, I still don't like.
Why, really? What? I love that.
I don't know. It's just like the stuff in the house is not my favorite.
It's kind of.
I love the stuff outside the house,
okay.
And like I love like my favorite stuff is when they're in their like her apartment. I guess both of them.
No, I mean those parts are great.
Those parts are great.
By the end of the movie, they're basically the same person. You could say.
Yeah, oh no, yeah. From the beginning of the movie, they kind of are.
Yeah, but like you don't know that as an audience.
Yeah.
So it's like basically a cycle going on or something.
Yeah.
No, but I really like the playful, especially the stuff in the house where the apartment where it feels more free. You know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm like. It's stuff when they're actually in the house when they're watching. Yeah. They're like, there's actually way more for Red. It's a lot of cuts.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
A lot of jagged cuts and stuff.
But it's interesting how he does.
Yeah, he's using it obviously on purpose.
Yeah.
To kind of just like mess with like what they're doing.
Yeah.
But overall, I really liked it. I kind of like their dynamic and stuff, and you can tell like I don't know. You can tell they had a lot of fun making it too. There are certain scenes where they just like start cracking up, laughing and stuff. It's like almost like he left the bloopers in and stuff. It feels like, but.
Oh, yeah.
I know some people think like this had improv, but I was listening to I forgot where I saw this, but apparently there's only one scene in this movie that was improv. Almost all of it was written beforehand or like basically planned out.
What's the improv scene?
It's it's like where she's talking about like she met this American friend and then none of them believe her.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Party. It's almost like a Romare scene, like
yeah, oh yeah.
Which this is another thing we mentioned. I forgot to mention is like Rivette Romare. They're basically they have like a huge like they were the reason Kahir split in like the 60s, late 60s, early 70s where they had their radical period of the Kahir cinema.
Apparently, people say it's like a bad like
no one likes it because it's like they got very into like basically like academic like semiotics and stuff like that. And, like basically the big difference was Rivette was very into a lot of this academic non-film. Basically political writing, more Marxist writing as well.
Yeah. And
then Romare was more into like the kind of classical film writing, more like aesthetic approach.
Yeah.
And Rivette was at that point like very radical and like.
Romer was. I'm pretty sure.
And basically, he won that debate in the Kahir, and so they basically kicked out Romare.
I'm pretty sure Romer was conservative too.
I mean, maybe.
That's what I heard.
It depends. Like, conservative. Like, I don't know if like.
He was the old dude in the group, so
he was definitely aesthetically conservative in a way in terms of like if I say Rivette is radical in terms of wanting to push new art forms.
Yeah.
Romare had a lot more respect for the older traditions as well.
Yeah.
You could say that's conservative in a way, especially artistically. I wouldn't say I don't know if politically how conservative.
That's what I've heard. I haven't really like made the observation.
I don't know how politically he was, but
it's a crazy story though. Speaking of Romer, apparently they met on Rivette's first day at Paris because they were. I
saw that.
They were saying I think it was like at a screening of what's the Bresson film?
The first one.
La Dame de Boulogne.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think Rivette started in like a degree in literature or something, and he like dropped out and went to study film. Because that's he said while he was doing that degree, he read Cocteau's book on the making of movies and really wanted to make movies instead, or at least write.
And then he like moved to Paris.
I just I was like, damn, I gotta read that. Which is like I always think of the Cocteau quote in the Remarker movie.
Oh yeah.
So you already mentioned mystery.
Yeah.
Like since this means
yeah.
beyond it, let's pretend we're organizing. That's like honestly a perfect Rivette quote too for his movies.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, Blake, do you have?
Echoing a lot of what Danny said, with the exception that I do like the third act still a lot. I like whenever it gets delirious because it feels like a fever dream in the third act.
I mean, yeah, a lot of the story doesn't even make sense.
Exactly. And
like I watched it twice this week, and I was like, what the fuck?
I watched the first half again because I did like that. I do like the first half a lot more than this time. Than I did
okay, you said the
time,
story doesn't make sense. What's the story?
It's like
what's the story to make sense of though?
What do you mean?
Like to me, there's nothing to make sense. Like there's no story.
Well, there's like the basic things of like they're like there's this guy and the sisters are like
he's like teasing a story, but I don't know if there's an actual story.
But I was saying like there's not like a.
I think there's an interesting thing of kind of like in the mouth of madness kind of going on here, where it's like fiction is also infiltrating reality, or the reality of the movie at the very least of this fictional world that he's creating, because the Red Hand appears in the real world first, and then it appears in their fictional world. So that's something that maybe their psyche is putting into their fictional universe, but it's also like the fictional universe is also kind of like spreading into the real world also at the end too. I don't know. I do still really like the ending, just because it's I don't know. I still don't know what to make of it very much, but I just like how crazy it is. Yeah. The first half I do still really enjoy, or I really enjoyed it more this time than whenever I originally watched it, because on our old podcast, the 10 minutes we spent on it, I think I said that I didn't really like love the first half that much, but whenever it got crazy, I liked it a lot more. Yeah. This time I did like the first half a lot more, kind of just spending the time with the two of them, getting to build their relationship a little bit more. Yeah. Just like a lot. And I really enjoy the moments of them taking over each other's lives. Just like the mirroring of each other, kind of, because it's really fucking
That's where you get the playfulness too.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know, like it's just so fun, the idea of like, what if, like if you could, like people have this idea, I don't know how to say to put it, like if you could take the place of someone for a day, people always have that kind of like, who would you take or whatever, it's like, or if you could even take the place of your friend, like would you be able to pull it off? Like if like they recognize you physically, if like you could pull it off, like it look like your friend physically, would you be able to pull it off, like, or would they be able to tell right away that you're still someone else, you know, like do you actually know your friend that well, etc. Like it makes you think of stuff like that. Because like this guy's like obviously kind of dumb or something. I don't know. Like or maybe
which guy? The
guy that
Gulu or
the guy cousin.
The cousin.
Oh yeah.
Wait, is it a cousin?
Yeah,
that's what they said. Yeah, it's fucking weird. Really? He's like, I haven't seen you since we were little.
Oh, I didn't know they were cousins.
Yeah, their whole talk of, or whenever she's like telling her, whenever she's telling Celine, or wait, which one's Celine?
It gave me Donkey Skin vibes, honestly. Where
so the best way to remember who is who is. Because this is, I think, another reason I'm pretty sure he's like trying to confuse you. It's like just from the opening shot, the movie's title is Celine and Julie.
Yeah.
So you think the first person
sees Celine, yeah.
And that's I was writing my notes until I realized actually she's fucking Julie.
Yeah.
And it makes even more, but that actually makes more sense when you watch the ending when he flips it.
Yeah.
You're like, actually the ending that could have been Celine. You know.
Yeah. They're the same person, kind of.
Well, like because actually in that, if you take that ending as the beginning.
Yeah,
Celine does start the movie. That would be Celine and Julie go voting, because she's actually he flips it toward Bertot's the one sitting on the bench at the beginning. You know, so it's like the name still kind of makes sense if you actually just watch the whole thing. But like that annoyed me so much, like because like basically the red has Julie.
Yeah,
and it makes isn't what's the actress's name too?
For Julie?
No, for Celine.
You said it, Julie Bertot.
Bertot.
Which makes it a little more confusing because like she's Celine, and you like so you flip the names. Too.
Oh yeah, actually that's a good point. Yeah.
Like that was in my head too. It's like, oh, Julia.
No, it's even more confusing because like I guess we'll talk about Le Pont du Nord. The girl, the Boule Augier. I don't know how you pronounce her name.
Are they siblings? Because they have the same last name in the credits.
Le Pont du Nord.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if they ever said because but what it's kind of confused me, like shocked me this time because I didn't realize it last time I watched it. Her name's Marie. Her lover's name is Julian.
Yeah.
And then there's of course we're gonna get to the story of Marie and Julian.
Damn, that's fine.
It's like I don't know.
Well, apparently this movie, like the house they go into is based on like a Henry James short story or something.
Yeah,
there's like some references like where in that book something like this also happens where there's like a play going on within a play.
Yeah.
So it definitely had some. He was definitely thinking it had some references of where he got the ideas for some of this stuff.
And then he said in the interview like he got the opening from Alice in Wonderland.
Like
inspired
the
opening.
yeah, that's really obvious.
But yeah, we'll talk about that.
And also, I listened to the extended clip. They did a podcast on Celine and Julie.
Oh, really? Okay.
With I don't know if you know who Nick Newman is.
He's I follow him on Letterboxd.
Yeah. He said Rivette and Berto they had just made Out One, and they were wanting to make something else. And so they had decided they wanted to make a quote summer vacation movie.
Yeah.
And they had started by listing things they didn't want a movie to be. And that's how like they came with this idea basically.
Of like the movie
of this movie of like Celine and Julie.
Oh, okay.
They started with like stuff they didn't want a movie to be. And that's how they ended with this. It's like, oh, that's interesting.
I want to see the list.
There's actually a scene in the movie that makes me think of that specifically.
Which one?
Of when basically when the movie kind of shifts like totally when who's the Julie when Julie's the one who's actually doing the performance when she takes Celine's spot and she like calls them all like cosmic she's like which is just a crazy line but then she basically like to me that's almost like the moment where she like decides like this is not going to be like a movie where like women are just like for men or there's like basically they do their own thing and she like basically leaves and like that's basically when they decide to go to the house almost like right after that it's like I think they go to they have one run at night at their apartment or whatever but like, basically that idea of like this is not going to be like a traditional movie where I don't know just like that it's the way it, like totally shifts but no there's a lot of interesting stuff in the movie.
No, it's a fascinating movie. It also I remember because I listened to our podcast episode when I listened to our podcast episode back I think Blake and I both said we thought it was like too long or whatever. Honestly this movie is like it flew by this time like or every time I rewatched it basically since.
I'll say this the North Bridge felt longer to me.
I don't agree with that but
I mean I can see why you say that
in some ways.
Yeah I can see why.
I could see that up until about 45 minutes, and then once 45 minutes hit, I kind of like really got into the Pont du Nord. So.
Yeah, there's just some cool shit happening in that movie. But I guess I'll say, I do love this movie. Obviously, like one of the more quintessential, I guess, Rivette's. Like this is definitely his most popular one. I love all like I just like had the whole splurge about his style earlier. Like a lot of the little games that happened in this movie. Although like I love how like and kind of the magical realism I was talking about, how just like stuff that like is so crazy that they just like casually happens in this movie is insane. Like some of like not even just like what happens, but the decisions they make. Like when the candy stops working and they just like, oh, I guess we'll just go to the library and steal a book on magic. I guess like it's just like there's not really any explanation for it or like.
And honestly, but the best part of that is just like. First of all, how easy it is to steal for them.
Yeah.
But honestly, just like the way he shoots it too, like the shadows and stuff.
No, yeah. And like, also just like how quickly they like, just kind of move in with each other.
Yeah.
And just like it's like basically like it feels like they've been friends. Like
I mean, this is where I'm like, I was gonna mention that earlier, where I mentioned the split between Rivette and Romer in the Kahir whole split.
Yeah.
Which is like I don't know too much about it, but it basically goes on those lines. To me, like, of all the French New Wave directors, they're the most similar, just in a lot of these aspects. Like, the four adventures of Mirabelle and Renette. It's the same type of thing where they just become friends like right away. Like they meet one time and like, just all of a sudden like friends.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
And just the idea of like, just like walking and like up to just like walking and talking. You know, like all of Romer's films like that.
Rivette's films, they're like all walking, talking, but then at the same time.
But there's maybe you could say their themes are very different, like what they're interested in, and like but just like the kind of style, even just like trusting your actors, you know.
Yeah.
Like I see that similarity between them too, but But
this movie. I guess we can go ahead and get into it. Well, I guess you just went on a whole like thing about the title of the movie, but what do you think about the alternate title? He kind of like
Phantom Ladies Over Paris.
Phantom Ladies Over Paris, which
was that an alternate title for America or was that for everyone?
I don't know. It's just kind of at the beginning of the movie, like it just says.
I was wondering if that was
title.
like American title, or if that was like a.
I think it was probably called Celine Should Go Boating in America. I would assume.
No, but sometimes like in America they'll have an alternate title, but in like the actual title, Celine.
Yeah.
Because I saw this in a couple places. Also, I forgot to mention this is in French, to go boating.
Okay, yeah,
can mean like to get caught up in the story you're being told or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw like contradicting things. So, like one person said like to go boating in French can mean like basically to also get caught up in the story, so it can have that double meaning. But then a different podcast I listened to said like it means more straight up like to means like to lie.
Okay,
like in a kind of figurative context. So like that kind of
but fiction is a lie.
Yeah. I mean he's kind of playing on that.
Yeah.
But I like that kind of like you basically miss that context if you just hear Celine and Julie go boating.
Yeah. They do go boating at the end.
They do go boating, but like in French, if you heard that, you would have got this kind of double meaning.
No, yeah.
It would have made way more sense to you. This kind of basically, the fiction aspect you're talking about.
For sure. But then I guess we'll go ahead and get into it. I guess I already was kind of getting into it. I guess I forgot. I segued myself into it. But it also flashes. Also, I guess Rivette also uses. I guess probably. Is he probably the director second most to Godard that uses the most intertitles out of all the French doing? Because he uses them quite a lot. A lot of time, like obviously nowhere near as frequent as Godard.
In this one.
Like
and the next morning.
It's like some silent film ass like transitory intertitles, but I like it. I don't know. But like this one in the beginning, it's peculiar because it says usually it began like this, which I don't know if that's referencing like the fact that the end.
Noroit's gonna have the craziest intertitles, so I still don't understand what's going on those.
Yeah.
It must be some theater thing, or actually it's like I honestly I need to look up.
Noroit is it's an interesting. It's kind of
no, he definitely using them interesting too. But is the opening credits, are they singing?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure they're the ones singing. I'm gonna play it during the opening of the episode.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's them.
There's some good music in both these movies. Yeah. Also, Rivette.
Well, there's very rare music.
But when it does happen, it's good. It's memorable. I feel like.
Yes. No, but it's not. He doesn't use that much.
Yeah.
That's another part about the making you feel duration, though.
Yeah.
It's like using more like naturalistic sounds.
Like
music to kind of over.
Okay, this is something we're going to talk about next week with Duelle and Noroit. How he uses music in those movies, where a lot of times the score of the movie is literally played by a musician in the scene that sometimes he'll just show at the beginning of the scene and then just forget about. Those be playing like a piano or something in the background.
Who else did we talk about like this?
Brisson.
Yes.
But even then, like
no, because what was this one of his notes? Like basically
no non-diegetic.
Basically, no music, and then he hasn't put no
except
music played by live instruments.
Yeah, but did he ever use it quite like Rivette does, where he'll like?
No, but that we actually talked about this with another director we did, or another movie we did, Karasmaki.
Yeah.
Where like he was like he loves music, but almost all the time he like showed the band first.
Yeah.
Playing, and then like that's sort of like it's almost like he uses movie music, but it's like he makes it feel live at least by showing you the live person playing it or whatever. Yeah.
But even then, like it wasn't Karasmaki. Usually, it's like it's the setting of like the band or whatever makes sense. Like if they're at like a concert or something, like at a bar
or like a record.
Yeah. Rivette, it's like just some random room, and then like there's a piano in the corner, and then he just pans away, and then it's like still playing the piano the entire time.
Interesting.
That's the opening scene of Duelle.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's. Well, I guess we'll talk about more next week. I guess, but
so like he's kind of playing with that too. It's like, oh, is it live music? But
yeah,
like, the whole world is fake anyway.
No, yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's fascinating. But yeah, honestly, the opening scene of Celine and Julie is honestly, it's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. To be honest,
it's so like
because he said in an interview
it might have been on the list.
Yeah, I guess it's a lot of great things, but like
it's just a great all visual.
Yeah,
like creating all this. There's like no talking for the first 15 minutes.
The kind of like it kind of lasts like 15 minutes, or somewhere around there. And
I love the cat, dude, at the very beginning, man.
Yeah,
like I still like it. like you said that you love genre. This genre can kind of be maybe a cat and mouse thriller, which is kind of what that almost implies. But it's also like the game is afoot because the cat's like about to pounce on the little bird or whatever whenever he cuts it. But I don't know.
Because the scene is basically it's her. Celine's like on a bench, like nodding off, or whatever. Sees. Oh, did I say Celine's on the bench? Oh,
yeah,
I'm gonna fuck this up the whole episode. Julie's on the bench.
We knew who you meant.
She sees Celine drop like a piece of clothes or some scarf or something, and then she obviously like is like going to try and like give it back to her, and they have this like elaborate chase. But like in a way, like it starts off as a chase, but almost it kind of becomes like a game between the two because like.
If you remember, I feel like we mentioned this in Viva l'Amour. Maybe not obviously like Rivette, but just like this type of like game where you're like chasing this person. Obviously, this was like not. Well, maybe it is longingly kind of. I don't know. They kind of are in love. I don't know.
There's definitely
there's a lot of a lot of like
but this is the thing. This is a very open movie.
It is.
There's like. You can read that for sure. There's like a moment where like she kisses her on the cheek, and like if you do have that reading, like they're definitely lovers. But if you also don't, if you want them just to be friends, they can also be that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
No, for sure.
But what were you saying?
Well, yeah.
No, that's all. That's all.
Okay, but basically, like she basically like
just like this game.
She
through the street.
Every time like she starts like hiding from Celine when she's looking back, and you can tell she's like kind of enjoying it too. Like she like be smiling or whatever.
Well, on YouTube, I watched this like a YouTube introduction Jonathan Romney did. He's like this film critic. He did for the opening of this, and he mentions how like he mentioned something I hadn't thought of, where he's like, first it starts off a chase of where Julie's chasing Celine, and you think it's like a one-way chase, but then you're like, maybe she actually did a. The names are fucking the brunette.
Yeah.
Did she put Celine? Did she put a spell on Julie? And maybe that's why she's chasing or something. It's like you basically don't even like you could read it that way too. It's like who's chasing who, like even the way they're like smiling at each other, like it's not even a serious chase. Like you said, it becomes more of like a game more than like
and I love
something serious.
Yeah, I love how he uses the city too. Like the way she takes the tram and then like Julie's like running up the stairs.
Both these movies, there are instances of people just. I feel like Rivette is doing this on purpose, just showing how ridiculously difficult it is to get around Paris if you're not using public transportation. Yeah. Because I distinctly remember in Le Pont du Nord also, where they're walking up great flights of stairs, and they literally have to stop and take a rest on a bench before continuing. And I was like, this is insane. That they have just like this many stairs if you're like just trying to get across the city without public transportation.
Yeah, imagine having public transportation. It
must be nice.
But yeah, they have this they have the chase scene, and then finally they like, I guess she kind of like, she like eventually catches up with her at like the cafe or whatever, and then like, kind of like gives it to her.
But I love like this meeting is like, oh, you think there's gonna be some dramatic moment or something? Just to give him scarves. Like there's nothing really that serious,
And like also like Celine also signs up for her magician job too. I think. It's just like random kind of things they like do during this whole thing, and also like Julie also says "Thank you, sir," to her.
She does.
I guess could maybe like there's probably maybe some subtext there, but I don't know. But then then they're like at the library. She's getting like I guess there's also a big part of this. I guess we talked about like the kind of like magical aspects of Rivette, but they're both like very into astrology. Because like I mean she's reading like an astrology book at the beginning, and like
magic.
Kind of like that kind of like I don't know, girl mystical stuff. Because like she's at the tarot card reader.
Yes, that's also.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Like I feel like the tarot card reader demographic is mostly female.
It probably is.
Like I'm not trying to be like
not
sexist or whatever.
That's also another Romer thing. Like like in the Green Ray, she's really interested in that too.
Yeah. As fireworks go outside. What we said.
No, but there's basically we see like at least they're both they're obviously both really interested in magic. But actually, it's kind of a big part of this movie too, because like we've been saying how mysterious Rivette is this whole time and stuff. Like he's obviously interested in this idea of like the world being kind of magical, you know,
yes,
basically creating the magic, and like he's almost making it literal in this. Like, he never like makes fun of them for doing.
No,
obviously, like just them using potions is how they create this world.
No, I think that stuff's kind of cool.
Almost like he's like comparing like how a filmmaker like edits. It's like magical in a way, you know.
Yes.
But
no, yeah.
No, my favorite part of this whole stuff in the library, because it's basically now like Celine is like watching Julie while Julie's working.
Yeah.
Like
I can't tell
like where like she tells that guy to stop smoking, and she's like, just do it discreetly.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to her, and she's like smoking her cig like under the desk.
Yeah.
Like you can smoke, and just don't do it loudly.
No. And like Julie's or Celine is like slamming the books on. I can't tell if she's like trying to get Julie's attention or.
Oh, she definitely is. She draws something too.
Yeah.
And then she leaves.
Like basically, they're both bored in the library, pretty much. Like, cause like Julie's doing like the little thumbprint thing on the.
I guess it's like introducing them to like an outside world. Like before, we're gonna get just totally engrossed in their like the world they create.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And I think Julie steals like a book that was on Celine's desk too. She takes something from it.
Well, yeah, because Julie draws something inside of it. That's why.
Oh, okay.
She tears the page that she drew.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like I love when they actually just end up in the same apartment together. Like.
Well, yeah, because like Julie's back on the bench right after that scene, like on the same bench.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But then yeah, she like basically like she's like reading something and then goes back to her apartment.
And that's when she sees Celine there,
like beat up or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with Rivette too. Like, characters will just be like beat up by some like outside force, which I guess is a conspiracy aspect. Like, a lot of characters there's some mysterious force out to get them. Like it's kind of like what Julie's going through because like she's like, oh, like they were like because I guess when Julie wakes her up, Celine's like, oh, I thought it was them after me again or whatever because like yeah, because like I forgot it wasn't it because like it's something to do with her work, right? Why she got beat up? I think she explains.
I forgot what she says.
I forgot what she says too.
It doesn't really matter that much, but like yeah.
So Julie says something about stray cats whenever she like to wake her up or whatever though.
Oh, no, yeah, she wakes her up by like yelling at her neighbor.
Yeah.
About like a stray cat, like
yeah, but that's something else these movies have in common too. Just like the two younger ones, I guess you could say, you could consider stray cats because there's another person like Pont du Nord who says that like you've always had always had a tendency to pick up stray cats.
yeah.
Just comparing these women that maybe don't know where their lives are going to stray cats.
Yeah. That's another like Turner thing where she says something similar in that's the one I'm thinking of.
Cat people?
Yeah, cat people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, fuck them.
The
one with the cat and top.
Smart observation. No, yeah, but yeah, they go into her apartment. She like takes a shower, and like it's just so like there's some shit that's like there's just shit with that like they're just like saying shit, you know.
They are
because like she's like yelling about this like African safari she went on or something. And
they're talking like they've already known each other for a long time.
It's like so funny.
Yes.
And like she's saying like boa constrictor instead of boa constrictor. I don't know if there's like a joke with that. If that's like,
I don't know. Like part of this is like stuff I don't know if we're missing because like we just don't understand the French.
Yeah.
Is this stuff we're missing because it's like they're talking like friends that have known each other for a long time and he wants us on purpose to feel like we're missing out.
Yeah.
Like it's an inside joke like. We're missing out or something.
Yeah, and then like Julie like randomly puts on like the glasses and mustache disguise too. Like it's crazy. And then I think then like I guess we see like Celine like ask about the man on like the wall of her cousin basically.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's long lost my old love. He was like also my cousin.
Dude, the way that she's describing
it is France.
The way she's describing is hilarious, though, because she's just like, every Sunday morning we'd go out behind the chapel, and we'd deflower each other as naked as the day we were born, or some shit like that.
It's like,
oh my god,
this is the most French shit I've ever heard in my life. Because I love, I guess we're about to talk about like when he like shows up and he's like the way he's talking, like
bro.
Yeah,
that's one of the best scenes in the movie, honestly.
It's amazing. And yeah,
but like the scene kind of ends with like, does she mention the house? I forgot how they mention the house. Because Julie ends the scene with like asking Celine like, "What's the address of the house?"
Yeah,
she somehow gets curious about it.
I forgot actually.
I think it's like Julie had like dreams about it or something.
Yeah, something like that.
I forgot how like she gets the idea about the house.
I mean, Julie did. I mean, we later find out that she grew up in the house right beside it.
Somehow.
Yeah, it's like so because like it's like
that also might be a dream or something she's having too.
Yeah, because it's like the lady there. It's like not her mother.
Because the way it's cut too, it's like it's not like she walks to that house. It's like
yeah,
these like weird montage cuts.
And
no,
yeah, it's so confusing.
So, yeah. So I don't even know.
It doesn't necessarily make sense.
Yeah,
you know.
But either way, like this is where we kind of get them like, we kind of get these like. Multiple times where they leave the house and they're doing their own thing.
Yeah,
it happens twice or three times before like the movie kind of comes, where they both end up watching the same movie at the end. You know.
Yeah. Because
now like Julie's going to the house.
Yeah, Celine tells her the address.
Yes.
But then so Julie's going to the house, but then Celine's answering the call from Gregoire.
Yeah, there's a guy basically. Yeah.
I'm just gonna call him Greg.
Gregoire.
Okay. Gregoire is. I don't like saying that.
I'm calling him weird guy.
Yeah, creepy French guy.
Creepy guy.
This is just how most French people probably are, I guess. Not Rivette though. Not Rivette. And Godard. Not Godard.
Is this better than the dance scene in Up Down Fragile in the park?
I love that. It's honestly similar. Damn.
That's what I was. It might be the same park, honestly.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not the same park. Definitely not. Because that one in Up Down Fragile has a roof, and there's also like sides to it. Although Up Down Fragile took place like 20 years after this, so
that is true.
Also, I'm pretty sure there's a scene in Up Down Fragile that takes place in the same park in Cleo 5 to 7. Like I'm pretty sure it's the same park.
I mean, I believe it. They're both filming
areas. But anyway, yeah. But yeah, basically, yes. Celine like answers the phone, pretends to be Julie.
There's also a great shot of Julie, basically like. Almost like this is what I'm saying. Where like this is like it's a very simple shot of like Rivette feeling magical while still being in the real world is like just by framing when she enters the house for the first time. Like there's this like kind of low angle, like the camera's straight on, but she walks downwards these steps, but we don't see her walking down. Like so, it looks like she's going down into like like this other world or something.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know how to describe it exactly, but just the way it's shot, just like so great.
I see.
Which like she basically walks down like she leaves the frame, like walking out of the frame downwards.
Rivette has a lot of that, people walking in and out of frames too.
I just love that shot of like walking to another world,
Because she first also enters the gate too.
That's the one I was talking about.
Oh, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah,
okay.
when she enters the gate and she walks down.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
The camera just stays flat, so like we don't.
And then like she like kind of slowly walks up to the house too.
Yeah. Just especially all these shots of the house too, like these wide shots of them like waiting on the steps and stuff.
Yeah,
it's very.
And then these random cuts to like this like weird angle where the camera's really low and we just see the whole house.
Yeah.
Multiple times.
It's like some like Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, honestly, something like that. Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah, the house is a monster.
It makes the house seem more magical too, because like you're like this house is supposedly in Paris, but you only see this house and like the trees around it. Basically, he's doing a very good job hiding the surrounding areas to make it seem like this.
Although
is
it's funny because
area. But...
I mean, you've seen Marie and Julianne, Up Down Fragile. I think those are the main two. Basically, there's a house in multiple of his movies that is just the same house. I don't know if it's Rivette's house. It would make sense if it was Rivette's house. But did you notice the house in Up Down Fragile and the house in Marie and Julianne are the exact same?
No.
Because that house is in Gang of Four too.
Damn.
I think it might be in Vassavois as well. It's also in some other ones too. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But I guess we'll talk more about the house. But like, yeah, but anyway, getting back to it. She has a scene with Gregoire. Ugly, creepy French guy. That she's like impersonating Julie, and then they have this like musical dance scene, and then which ends with
she's doing a good job impersonating her. It's one of the scenes where it's very easily believed where you could say like they're the same person, because everything that Gregoire is saying to her, she should not know based on what we've seen so far in this movie. She should not know Celine or like Julie's life this well, but she does, and is answering perfectly to everything.
And he's like, oh, I recognize those silky hands or something like
the dance is hilarious.
Yeah.
Literally unbuttoning it.
Literally unbuttoning his belt, and then that shit dropped.
They're literally singing about yeah, no.
And then
I do love like the backgrounds and at least some of these are I don't know the changes, but like you could definitely tell these are just random people watching.
No, yeah, all the kids are like just watching it. Yeah,
it's so good. And the kids, to be a kid there and watching this shit, I would be like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
I'd be doing the exact same thing, but
well, they probably saw the cameras, I guess.
Yeah, they saw the cameras, but then you also are watching just like this random girl like dancing and undressing this man in front of you.
Yeah. You're like, what kind of movie is this? Whoa. Yeah, and then like when she pulls them down, or like when they get pulled down or whatever, she's like, and now, dear friend, go jack off among the roses. Like, damn. That's good. That's a good line.
And he's like, I think he says something about like, you've become so crude. What happened to this?
Like, goodbye forever, goodbye.
She goes and gives like that ring he gave her to like this random woman.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, it's from that guy over there. Yeah. Oh man. And then I think.
Well, it kind of then cuts to Julie getting kicked out of the house.
Yeah. She just like
You don't actually see what she sees.
No, yeah.
But it's like we see both of them like when they get kicked out the first time, like they're like beaten up.
Oh, I don't even know if it's beaten up. I think it's more like drugged.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But also, I guess this is some like
basically tired or whatever.
Yeah.
This is some rare Rivette montage when how he uses like the kind of like black. You know how he like when he first cuts like when she gets thrown out, and then he'll like cut the scenes with like he'll cut like little like he'll cut like with like a black
it's a black frame.
Oh,
frame in between them.
No, those are the jarring cuts I was
they're
talking
like
about.
yeah, that's like so interesting. Like
that's where like, we see like a black and white image of the same house.
Yeah,
really quick.
That's why I was like, I disagree whenever he says he's not bad montage, because he's got some interesting uses of it, or at least like editing, like cutting like that. Like,
but they're more
this one might be the most he uses like stuff like this, honestly.
Yeah, he's early on, you know.
Yeah, it's like still an early movie for him, even it's not especially since this is much more about like they're literally he's like comparing to them watching a movie in a way, you know, even though it's not direct, but basically what they're doing. You know, watch like a melodrama.
I mean, yeah, the scenes when they're watching it looks like they're just watching a movie.
Yeah. Or like this is even like going to a theater or something.
No, yeah, exactly. And then like I think she like walks out, like takes a taxi, and then
this is also a very is it this scene? Well, multiple times. I think it's either this one, but also when they leave the cabaret performance, like multiple times, he like almost shoots it the exact same way, like even the drive too.
Oh, well, they
like
get in
you
the
basically
taxi?
notice like yeah. You basically notice like that same kind of drive almost.
No, yeah.
That's like another great thing with like duration. You know, he's able to use like repetition really well in terms of like like every time they come back to the same apartment, you know, like you kind of notice it.
Yeah.
Just like aspects like that.
No.
Like, cause like the first time. She's like super kind of like tired from this like experience and stuff.
Yeah.
And like over time, like they get better with it. Like the second time, we see this cab, the same kind of shot. It's after Celine has her experience.
And then she finds the candy.
Yes. But like when they're in the cab that time, like Juliet, since Julie's already had her experience, she's like one helping. Celine,
yeah. She knows what
you know?
like she's going through. Yeah.
Just like little moments like that.
No. And then I guess the next scene is when Celine's talking to her friends.
Yeah, it's like that.
This is the improv scene. Yeah,
it's funny. It feels like almost like a Green Ray scene too.
No, yeah, she's like the way she's talking her up is crazy. Like because it's
like none of her friends believe her too, which is so funny.
Which I mean, are they even real? Are they like? Is there any like?
Well, to me, the real is like so. This is like this is like Celine being Celine. You know, like she seems very kind of like. They would believe anything she said, or maybe not believe anything she says.
Yeah. She's like talking about like how she like how apparently Julie has some like big. She thinks there's some big political figure behind her, and like she has a lot of money. And she's
I love when it's like nobody cares about you're American.
Yeah. No, yeah. I always forget she's American.
And someone asked her, "Was like, oh, did you dream this, or did this actually happen?"
No. Yeah. Like, damn.
Who knows?
I mean,
that's just the movie never.
Fair point. And then it's like she's leaving and then runs into Julie.
Yeah. And that's when Celine tells her runs into Celine. No, actually no.
Yeah.
Damn, we got him.
Yeah, it's like Julie's like, I don't remember anything that just happened.
Damn. We should have a counter every time one of us mixes them up. Is that like 10 right now, probably?
Yeah, no.
And yeah, I think
that's when we see
the cabaret performance.
Yeah, the cabaret performance.
Yeah. So yeah, I love the way it's shot. And we also, I guess in the scene, we kind of get the first, the movie, he starts cutting in, very briefly, the mansion storyline.
Yeah.
Like, we see kind of, like, images from it that he's, like, cutting into it. Like, almost like it's starting to, like, kind of invade.
Yeah.
The real life, I guess.
Yeah. But yeah, Julie's watching her perform. She has some cool, like, magic tricks, too.
Not according to the audience.
Yeah, someone says it's rigged.
Well, yeah, they just want her
It's all fake.
They just want her to take her clothes off. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah, like she like pops the balloon.
I mean, that's why whenever you said like a magician gig, is it a magician gig or is it a stripper gig? Because it might be a stripper.
She does
gig
some
that's
magician shit.
Yeah,
that's the
no,
thing.
she does.
Yeah,
but I feel like it might just be.
And
like
also on the card she
show.
writes, it says magician. I think.
Okay.
Like when she like fills out the app, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it says like occupation. Magician.
Yeah. But it's like kind of both.
Yeah.
Right?
At least that's what Julie says later.
Yeah. No, but yeah, when she like pops the balloon, like the two like colored birds. Or whatever,
that one was fun.
It's cool. And like sets the thing on fire too. Yeah. And then like yeah, we're like backstage after the show. The manager tells her that like she's like going on an international tour or something. Yeah. And then like yeah, Julie's back there. She's like telling her friend like, "Oh, this is the Julie I was talking about."
She is real.
Yeah. And then I think this is when this is when we start seeing like Julie like freaking out about the like her going in there. Like she's telling Celine about it. Like Celine's trying to calm her down or whatever. And then like I guess this is where she like
well, this is where isn't like the red mark on her back at this for this moment, maybe, possibly. I can't. Is that why she's freaking out? I'm pretty sure that's why she's freaking out. But
not yet.
I'm not okay. Not yet. I can't.
Because then she tells her about the candy in her mouth in the scene, and then basically I think in the scene they like she takes it.
Which the taking the candy out of the mouth is so fun. I like that every time. Because it's just like she takes out like 2 each time basically. You're just like, where is she?
Just in her mouth. Like, yeah, just the fact that you use it like just, yeah, I don't know. It's just like something. It's like so random but cool. I don't know. But that's just the playful aspect of it.
That's the magical nature of it too.
Yeah. And yeah, but yeah, this is when we kind of like we start
like
seeing
they just go into this house and come out with candy in their mouth. That gives them hallucinations.
No, yeah. But yeah, we start basically seeing like the fragmented nature of like this like kind of like story or whatever.
The scenes that she's saying.
Yeah.
About them saying.
And like basically in these scenes they're the maids pretty much, and it's like it kind of like goes between the two. But yeah, we see like the one girl like fainting or whatever, and then the one girl like monologuing in the bathroom. Yeah, and then
no, it's crazy, like, from, like, how, like, disjointed these initial scenes are, like, what is going on, to, like, how simple the story is at the end.
Yeah.
They're just, like, trying to kill this girl or whatever, like...
Yeah, like, they're, like...
For this, like, guy, they're both, like, jealous of this guy whose, like, wife died.
That also might be their mother?
Oh, really?
Question mark?
Because there's something about, like, their mother's dress and the key, and then,
I thought that was their sister's dress.
Yeah, it's their sister that they're all jealous of, I thought. Because that's the guy that married, the sister married.
But then the sister died?
Yeah.
I think so.
Oh, that would make more sense.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, and then, like, yeah.
Also, isn't the mom in this one one of the main actresses in Le Pont du Nord?
The blonde one.
And she's gonna come back next week. And
Duelle,
is she in the other ones? Actually, she's in Gang of Four too.
Okay.
I was watching like Pont du Nord. I was like, I've seen this woman somewhere before.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah, she has a very memorable face, but yeah.
But this movie basically like kind of flips even like from beginning, like how the beginning flips at the end. Even within the movie, there's like flips, like because do you remember how this next scene starts where now Julie's the one asking Celine. No, Celine is the one asking Julie. I just messed up again. For the address, the house this time.
Yeah.
She's like, now she's intrigued to go watch.
Yeah, it's kind of a double aspect.
Like that's why it's like it's like almost like a movie or something. Like now she wants to go watch the movie or something.
No, well, there's a quote. You're kind of skipping over, but one of them tells the other, or I think it's Julie who says it. He says, "I have no idea where they came from, but it's odd though. They mean something. They mean something to me. Their faces are familiar. They come from far away. It's kind of like just like how you feel about watching movies too, like places that come from far away, but that like mean something to you.
And to me, it's more for Rivette. Like not even like I said, like he's also interested in the process of making the film.
Yeah.
It's not even like watching the film. Also, it's about creating the film.
Yeah.
You know, like these characters that come out of nowhere, all of a sudden you're trying to make them alive. You know, you're trying to make them real.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Also, Julie calls them puppets. I was like, wait, is it like a Bresson reference? Are they models? You mean models? But then, yeah, this is when I think Julie realizes. I guess it is kind of in the same scene.
It's basically like right after. Like,
yeah, it's like the end of
these
the
cuts.
scene.
Are like he loves these like sudden cuts too. Like all of a sudden you're in the next morning or something.
Yeah. Like he has the handprint, but then then this is when I guess you're saying the flip happens. Celine walks up to the house, and at the same time, Julie is like hanging up a picture of the house. Also hangs up some like dolls.
Yeah, they're like starting their magic shit.
It's some like voodoo shit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what's going on here.
You know, we're not the best people to explain those.
No, because the board has also got some magic shit on there. Like,
yeah, and she's like drawing like a diagram of the house.
She drew like a diagram of the house. Yeah.
And then like Julie's like, I think Julie like goes to the house. Like after her, I guess that's what she walks up there.
Celine goes though.
Yes, well, Celine goes in, but then Julie goes there too. Yeah. After.
Celine, and she can't get in.
So it's locked.
That's when she ends up at like her like neighbor's house or whatever.
Well, yeah, she grabs a ladder and like goes up to the. Which I mean that comes back at the end because that's how they escape.
Oh yeah, damn. Okay, that's like that's like a classical film thing too. Like introducing some kind of thing they're going to use later for the conclusion. You know.
Damn, yeah.
It's just like way more obvious. Like I didn't even realize that she used that ladder earlier.
I guess it is dark in this.
Like a normal movie, you'd be like, "Oh, see, here's this ladder they're using for like some nondescript thing. Don't worry, like you'll recognize it when it comes up later."
Damn. But yeah, she just like ends up at.
Do they use that same ladder though? Because it's like when on this ladder, it's like she ends up on some patio thing.
Yeah.
But when they're leaving the ladder at the end, it's like straight down. It's like a straight down shot, isn't it? Unless I'm remembering wrong.
I don't remember.
Obviously, that's like not important to the movie at all.
No,
But that was my whole point.
Yeah. But yeah, she just like kind of goes up to this like neighbor's house that like.
Who ends up? She knows. Like
she grew up there.
Yeah, it's like makes a dream basically.
Yeah.
The comically large coffee cups.
And I'm pretty sure the lady's talking shit about her mom too.
I was like, oh, she's traveling everywhere.
Yeah. And then, but then then like Celine like stumbles out of the house basically when Julie's sitting there.
Also, like in another movie, like it would be such a big deal for like, oh, she had a dream sequence where she met like some relative that knew her mom or something. Yeah. And this one, like, it's like you never think about it.
Nothing happens from
really,
it.
Yeah. For some reason, like I can't think of any connection to the rest of the movie at all.
Well, the lady does say that because she asks about the house to her, and then the lady's like, oh, like one day everyone left or something happened, and then everyone left one day, and no one ever came back.
Because the lady's like, oh, don't you want to see your old room too? It's like exactly the same how it was, and she's like, oh yeah, I'll come back and see it.
Yeah, and she never comes back. Yeah, she forgot. Yeah, damn. No, yeah. But then,
but this one they come back home and now they have the candy or whatever.
Yeah. Celine's like.
I think Celine, Julie just finds it on her.
Well, they already have a candy.
Oh, they already have it.
But they tried it earlier, but like it didn't like. But yeah, this is like, she finds another one.
But this is where I wrote my notes. There's like a great cut after they do take the candy. Yeah. Just the sudden cut to the house, like.
Well, it's when they break it up into pieces.
Oh yeah, they break it up, and then like after they take it, it's like the cut to the house all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So good. Honestly, there's some great just like sudden cuts. That's how I have my notes.
No, I love when she's like,
just like no,
Yeah.
like no hesitation. Just all of a sudden the new location. You know.
It's
It's like kind of jolting.
And yeah, we get another like fragmented piece of like the story or whatever, where like the guys like.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the handprint too. That'll come back.
I briefly mentioned it.
Yeah, we briefly mentioned it.
It's a red handprint. Something about like it's like
Because that's part of the fictional world infiltrating the real world.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
vice
that's
versa
what
too,
you were
so.
saying too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like like the French guys like rizzing up the blonde girl or whatever in the most French way possible. But then but it doesn't last super long because I guess because she only took a piece of it. 'Cause it cuts back.
Yeah.
And like they're like making fun of him too, which I kind of love that about this movie. Like the way they react to certain things in the story are funny. They're like there's one part I forget like towards the end where they're like taking lines that they like know from the story and like rehearsing it with each other.
Yeah.
Like kind of like it almost feels like making fun of them. Although I don't know if that's like necessarily what they're doing, but like
I think they kind of are, or it's just this playful aspect.
Yeah,
just
just
like
being playful with it.
And to me, I think they are making fun of it, especially if you take my reading of like they're making fun of like classical cinema, of like this melodrama or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, where like they even say like, oh, they're doing the same thing again and again. It's perpetual.
Yeah.
You know, like how I feel a lot of times watching just like the same kind of movies over and over again.
Yeah.
Like, the same kind of stories. You
Yeah.
know? But it's like, and I love also how both of them don't actually have the same reactions to like this happened a little later on where like Celine's the one getting really bored, and then Julie's like, no, I'm actually interested. So I don't know what's gonna happen. You know?
Damn. Yeah.
Just like some people like can like certain movies, and other people don't. Like
Yeah.
just like the same thing. Like
Subject.
that's like I forgot I was mentioning this like oh yeah, it's Dick Newman where he's mentioned like normally in a movie our reactions are with the character's the main character reactions, you know. So like if a character in the movie is bored watching something, we're gonna be bored.
Yeah.
But like when he splits it like that, when Rivette splits it where one character's bored and one's not bored, then like as an audience, he's also giving you the choice: are you bored while watching this, or are you not bored while watching this? You know, and he's like that's like a freedom where most directors not going to give you the freedom to be bored while watching something that you're creating. You know, where normally like if they're watching like a director creates like a play on the movie, like if a director creates a play within the movie.
Yeah.
Usually the people that are watching that play, if he wants you to react positively towards it, he's gonna have the characters react positively towards it. So like the audience knows, like this was a good play or something.
Yeah.
But Rivette leaves even that part open. You know, like you can be bored if you wanted to, or you could be excited while you're watching and be like, you know, like that's just like one example of that. Just that kind of openness of like how the characters react. That's also another thing I love about this movie. Maybe is like having the multiple characters too. Just you could be more open like that. You know, instead of following a single character. Having just following their reaction.
Well, I mean, we've talked ideals and shit.
Yeah,
we talked about this like a lot with like
Boonwell,
Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson too.
Yeah.
Which is funny. Wes Anderson as well.
Then but I guess this is also kind of thing where we find out basically like the scenes that are repeating is basically like one day. Like they're like repeating the same scenes. I guess this is when they kind of like realize it in this.
They're kind of trying to realize what's happening.
Yeah, they're having to put together the pieces.
I also love this shot. Like, there's like this really funny poses. Juliette Bertot does like while she like has her hands on her hips. While she's like waiting for the candy to hit. Like they'll like take the piece. Like 'cause they break up into pieces and like they're waiting.
It's some like Chaplin shit.
Yeah. Like the way she like couldn't like moving her body. Like
yeah.
She like basically acting like a clown or something. She even dressed like in we mentioned like she's like dressed as a. She calls herself a sad clown. She has all that makeup on her face. She's definitely like the more eccentric one, you could say, I guess.
Yeah, they're like basically like commenting over like what they think is going on.
Stuff, like,
They're like, oh, like they don't know like because they're like, oh, they don't know who he's like with, the one guy. They're like, who's he like in love with or whatever, and then but then they say there's a moment where they say like we won't know until the next episode too, like damn, it's obvious at that point.
Now, there's a lot of just like in my notes like it's hard to talk about because they're just like pointing out random stuff that's going on in the movie.
Yeah.
Or pointing out, or they're actually involved in the movie. Like we see Julie as a nurse. Actually, we see both of them as nurses multiple times.
Well, they're like interchangeable. Like, some scenes that like one will be a nurse, and then it'll like there'll be a cut, and then it's the same one in the same position.
Actually, on our initial Celine and Julie episode, I mentioned the obscure object of desire.
Wait, I don't remember. Wait, when did you?
I'm pretty sure I mentioned that because like he does a similar thing with the actresses, where he starts flipping them.
I don't remember.
Where it kind of has that same effect as this one does, even though they're technically separate characters in this one.
Yeah.
They're basically the same character, you know, so it starts to feel that way. Like even when they're like even in the nurse scene in this one, I was like thinking of the obscure object of desire.
Damn.
Where he's like flipping the actresses, like even in the course of the same scene, like every time.
Yeah.
Like basically using the power of the shot reverse shot in cinema to like flip a literal actor every time he like reverse shots.
Yeah,
you know? It's great.
I guess we also forgot to mention like there's like a murder too. It's like a murder plot. And they'd like figure out it's like a whodunit kind of.
Yeah, they're like you would think it'd be. It's funny. It's like you would think it'd be way more serious. Like they're trying to save this girl, but it's like so playful because it's a movie. You know, like are we gonna do it or like I mean I don't.
Yeah. I mean it's fiction at the end of the day. Like I guess.
But like Blake said, is it fiction? Like because like this is basically their whole life by the end of the movie. Like they have a real world outside of this.
No,
you know? I think that's why it's important. At least we see the library, and like at the beginning, we see them walking through a lot of Paris and stuff. Because by the end, none of that exists.
Yes,
you know, it's all just this world they've created or whatever.
It's the apartment and the house.
Like even when they go outside of the world,
the girls with them at the end. Also,
yes, the girls. Like I was about to say, like even when they leave the world at the end, the world they created is still with them in a way. You know, like the girls there, and then like the boat obviously at the very end.
No, for sure. Yeah, but like they're. I think Celine calls the blonde a slut. Julie thinks the blonde is too obviously guilty to be guilty. Which I mean, fair play to her. Like that's a
That's a classic. Read. Like if you're watching a Hitchcock movie at this point in the movie, you're like, okay, it can't be the one we most.
No, yeah. Basically, we see like the one girl's like, oh, the girl's dead or whatever.
The red hand is very that was a good choice. Good choice for this little fun type of like whodunit movie.
What you said.
I just like the red hand mark. It's a very prominent, like just nice symbol. I don't know, not a symbol, but just a nice little thing.
Yeah. Also, wait, why does she write 33 on Celine's back? Because that happens. And like, she writes 33, and then Celine goes to the house. I didn't pick up why she did that.
It's probably some spell shit.
Yeah, it's like experimenting shit. But then like Julie takes Celine's place at the cabaret.
Oh yeah.
I guess what you were saying earlier, like she doesn't want to like do what the guys want to, and like. Yeah.
Also, this has my favorite quote in the movie too. To me, it's like where she says it's like basically she gives this like kind of like performance where she's like crying while she's like basically giving a serious performance with the guys don't want that role.
Yeah.
Where she's like singing about a memory or something.
Yeah.
And then she's like crying by the end and like apologizing to the crowd. And she's like, I always let myself get overcome by irrepressible waves of feeling.
Yeah.
I love that line. Especially like in the context too.
No.
That's like when the audience like a lot of the cut always to the guys too where they have this is also another Boonwell thing like where they're. This actually happens in Obscure Object of Desire where we're watching like these men just like watching her dance.
Yeah, they all have like shades on.
Yeah, it's like the shades like very just like straight, like no reactions, you know.
Cosmic Twilight
like,
pimps.
Yeah, and that's when she calls them.
It's like what's wrong? Can't get it up.
Yeah.
And then she like runs out. They all chase after her.
No, but this is what I'm saying. Like this is kind of the moment where it's like she decides like they're just gonna do their own thing. She's not gonna perform for men or anything. Like they're gonna go create their own.
She's gonna seize control.
Yeah, they're gonna create their own art instead.
Yes.
Instead of doing it for other people.
Exactly.
And I just love like Rivette has these great, very similar to Bresson and like Ozu too. Like what I call like empty shots of just like you basically hang on a scene after the characters leave.
Yeah.
How long are you willing to hang on those shots? Like like Bresson does all the time, especially at the end of his career.
Or even probably even like also like before they even get there too.
Also before, yes.
Yeah.
Honestly, both, but especially after too, where it's just like you just hang. Like this is another part of that duration thing where you normally right when a character leaves a scene you cut away because like the scene's over. But like this has a great example of this. Like she leaves and the camera just hangs on this empty show light.
Yeah.
The show light that's been showing on both of them like so obviously. it just shows the curtain.
Yeah.
And he just hangs on it for a while, just like stands out, you know, like, oh, she's leaving this, you know.
Yeah.
And they never come back to this too, obviously.
Damn.
And that's when she has this like great moment, it's the same kind of cab ride that we've been seeing earlier. But this time she's actually like happy because she has its own realization.
And then just like Celine just out in the street.
Like, it's honestly like one of the best shots in the movie where she's like, I think she like kisses her on the cheek after they're in the cab together.
Yeah.
And they're just like both smiling. Because you're like, oh, why is she smiling after she just like at this like cabaret performance where she's like basically crying?
Yeah. That's like a traumatic type of event.
Yeah, but it's like to me like that's why because like she has this realization. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Like that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that's right. But then I guess this is when they both take it at the same time.
And this is where it's like it almost like seems like they're eating popcorn or something. Where they're like excited for a movie,
facing directly towards the camera.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, they're like excited to watch a movie.
Yeah. Yeah, like we're starting to replay scenes now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is where it's like, just like it's gonna be hard to talk about.
Yeah, more reaction shots. Like they're finding it funny.
Shots, yeah.
We see like the key of the red chest is now missing. We hear about that. That shit makes no sense.
This is where I'm like saying. This is where like I like it still watching, but I'm like, am I supposed to be interested in the stuff they're figuring out, or am I just like gonna be like, yeah, it's like. I know they're gonna save this girl at the end anyway. Like, and like, do I even care about the story I'm watching? Like,
no, it's kind of, I just like seeing their reactions.
No, I do. Like, some of the stuff is fun. I do like the stuff when they're dancing at the end too.
I mean,
I like seeing.
It's like
they just like totally ignore.
The guy has the weird like card hat too.
Because we can't tell. Like, do these characters actually react to?
Well, see, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. Whenever you were bringing up like, Rivette's kind of view on the supernatural.
Yeah.
Like it has to be explainable.
Or
like what if this is just kind of like through material means like what if this is just like his reading on like how life kind of is. Like we have our own little creators kind of out here just like messing around with our lives, but we can't see them. Like we're the people in this play that are like all gray faced at the end, just like walking around doing what we're supposed to be doing, but we can't see the people like actually in the backgrounds like trying to change our lives.
Because like I think Rivette does think we have some control. Like that's why we're also Celine and Julie at the same time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Know? Like we also like I think he sees both. Like some people actually do with their lives like that where they have no control, but then some people can actually like Celine and Julie go in and actually try to change the story. You know? Versus just like let whatever's going on in the house happen infinitely. No, that's interesting. Like this kind of like you're talking about predestination because I think. Almost like to me, that's like more Bresson. Where Bresson is like something like L'Argent or something, where it's like everyone is trapped in this kind of system.
Because like, Le Pont du Nord it has a lot of predestination also.
But it has both. Like one girl is like she believes in that kind of thing, and the other girl is like believes in this kind of.
But the one that believes in the fate and predestination is the one that you could say is let off at the end, and the one that doesn't is the one that dies, like she's kind of supposed to.
But. Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. That's why I was like, I don't know. It's interesting to see how he's kind of, or it's interesting to like kind of like talk through maybe how he
especially the way he sees the city. I think is definitely what you're saying.
Yeah.
Especially how he views like, especially like I was saying like, Rivette was the more radical political one. Is like definitely by the 70s and stuff. He saw like. The government is that probably anti-freedom and
that's what a lot of the control was about too.
Yes,
like the surveillance, like
exactly the
surveillance state.
Especially exactly what you're saying is. So I think there's definitely both aspects to it. So when you say like someone's free, it doesn't mean they're totally free. You know, they're obviously in a world and a context. But it is interesting to think about.
But yeah. Oh, we also we get a scene around here where, it's crazy because I didn't catch this like the last 2 times I watched this. The dark-headed sister is like telling, Madeline, the little girl, the story of Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Oh. She's talking about how like when Alice drinks the bottle to become smaller.
Oh,
it has like the tip that says "drink me," and she's like, that's she's just describing the fucking story of Alice in Wonderland.
Oh damn, that's crazy.
Like damn. And we see like blonde haired girls like cuts herself again. I think. Or, I don't know if
she
this
cuts
is the first
herself
time.
a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if
she cuts herself a lot.
Well, it's like it's one. It's like a lot, but it's like once.
No, yes,
You know what I
yes.
They like play this like weeping angel game with Madeline, where it's like, oh, like when you turn around, we're gonna go like more towards you or whatever.
Is that what that's called?
That's what I called it.
Okay.
Because like it's like the weeping angels kind of, but I guess the next like noteworthy one I have in my notes is when the guy, I think it might be the first time one of the people in the story like talk to or like interact with Celine and Julie's like main character. Cause it's like, well, I think it's like cause it's when the guy starts talking to Celine and he's like saying, oh, I'm satisfied with your services or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's implying she's about to get fired or something or about to leave.
No, no.
Because they run out candy right after this.
He's implying that he wants more from her service.
Okay, I guess that also makes sense. But then they run out candy at this point too, which I don't know if.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's like a connection between the two or it's just like.
Like
okay,
this is the
run out.
classic like not like rape scene I would say.
I guess I can see that.
Just
yeah.
like the scary like freaking like just the guy that pays you basically wanting you to like have sex with him because because he's a creepy
weird French guy.
Yeah, he's a creepy weird French guy.
yeah.
But yeah, they run out and they want to make the juice.
That's what I was saying. Like, I was like, what do we do? It's full of holes. Like, we don't know the end, you know. And then just like, let's just go to the library.
Yeah, they need more.
Let's just stroll on down, commit some robbery, you know, get some theft. And like basically, yeah, they like I forgot because they take the book, but then they like roller skate away.
They like went all black.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
That's what makes it fun too. It's like not serious. Like,
yeah, like it's like this. Like, rollerblades are a getaway vehicle or something.
Also, it's like this also makes it feel like they're part of another world. It's like even when they're outside in these shots, we never see anyone else.
Yeah.
So it's like at night, like there's in this library, even the library, like there's like we never feel any threat.
That
like,
actually
is
is something that's changed throughout the movie because some of the beginning of the movie, you
the
definitely notice
library,
the
we see other
backgrounds.
people.
That's a good point.
There are
like,
more people.
Like even like in the scene where Celine is like with the other guy, like we mentioned earlier, there's like kids in the background, you know, watching and stuff. Like by the end, like
it's kind of like the more they get into the fiction,
there's like no one else.
The more they're like absorbed by the fiction, it's almost like the outside world doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're successfully creating this other world.
Yes. Then they're like they use the book to basically like read the instructions on how to make a potion. This is a great scene, like when they're like putting all like the different ingredients in and like taste the thing and then like give some of the fish, you know.
You're like, I can kind of get the astrology girl now.
Yeah,
this looks fun.
Serve me some potions, girls. Like, yeah, and then we get like basically they like go back in like. Then we also get the scene around here like they're like rehearsing the lines in the stories I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm. This is whenever they're really starting to just have fun with it. Honestly.
Yeah. They're really starting to experiment with the form. And then they like I think. Is this around cause I think this is when they're like starting to like.
What basically where they're starting to like kind of like be like, okay, we got to do our own thing almost.
Yeah, like I guess
they're starting to like kind of fight back or like.
Cause like we have to save the girl.
Yeah, they're starting to actually insert themselves.
Yeah.
Instead of just like watching.
Because this is when they like decide to actually go to the house. Like, at night or whatever.
Yeah.
Is that?
Where like Julie keeps like forgetting her lines and stuff. Or is that after they're in the house?
That's after they're in the house.
Okay. Because they like ring the doorbell and like they both sit down like with their shades on and start smoking cigarettes.
I like it because they ring the doorbell and they say, "Oh, I guess it's not open yet," and then they just sit down.
Yeah.
And then the door opens like a minute later.
Oh yeah.
So also, it's a great shot of like them putting these like rings,
eyeball rings.
Yeah.
Like owl eyes or some shit.
I like those.
Just like they look cool.
That's like that's the thing that keeps them able to like not be in character, like able to be in their reality basically. Because one of them loses the ring and starts acting like the nurse from the story again, and then the other one like picks up the ring and puts it back on. And she's like, "Oh, you dropped your ring. You can't lose this," or something like that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, basically they go into the actual house that's like now abandoned and like take the candy to somehow like. Yeah, it doesn't. It's like yeah, hard. It's like they go to the store, but now they're all like ghosts and shit.
That's definitely no. It's definitely like yeah.
Because they all have that weird face paint.
Yeah, it's more like because they're more involved, I guess, in the creative process now. That these are more like a blank canvas characters, you could say. Yeah. Maybe. So they can't like.
Because I love the difference in lighting too.
Yeah.
Because it's like now like there's a lot more shadows. It's a lot more like weirdly like almost like a lot more lights absent. It's more of a horror movie.
Yeah.
Now.
Well, and if they weren't acting as playful, like it would be, because even some of the things that they're saying, like they're trying to hide from the people because they're like we don't want them to notice us.
They're like stumbling around and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they like what's the this scene I didn't really get when like how they figure out that she's the killer. In that one part, because they're like distracting her, like someone's behind her, and then like. Somehow, like, Celine or someone knows that, like...
I thought they had figured that out earlier, I'm pretty sure.
I think they found out in this scene, like, oh, she's the killer, like...
Oh, is it?
Somehow. I didn't really get it.
I thought they had known that earlier, where they're, like... They see, like, someone trying to put the pillow over the daughter. It's like a previous thing. Yeah. But maybe not.
On my next rewatch, I'll figure it out. Yeah.
Honestly, my favorite part of this, because this is based like towards the end, actually.
It is.
Of like this last kind of like part where they're watching. It's like when they're in the dance scene that we've seen a few times.
Yeah.
But it's the line where like they're just like totally ignoring like what's going on in the dance. They start dancing their own like they like change the song.
Yeah. And the other ones are like dancing still like normal. They're like zombies and shit.
And she like the Celine yells, "It's like we're not a melodrama anymore." And they just like start dancing their own thing. It's just like so great.
We forgot to though mention that there's one part where I think they figure something out, and then an off-screen audience claps for them. and the lights like turn off for a second, and just like you hear like applause. It's great. And then, they have like a syringe or something, and then like, Celine like realizes she's the murderess, and then basically says like, "Oh, I won our bet," like their bet on like. Who was the murderer or not. Like, she somehow finds it out, basically. And then, this is when they basically, like, escape with the girl. And have to, like, the front door's locked, so they have to go out the window. And then, like, it's so funny that they wake up, and, like, why the fuck is the girl in the bathtub like that?
Well, I think that's, like, what makes it so fun is, like, there's a... It's almost like a... I think you mentioned... Is it In the Mouth of Madness? There's like which Carpenter movie is it where like he wakes up and you think, oh, they're back in reality now, and then he turns around.
It's In the Mouth of Madness. It's in the bus. It's in the bus. Whenever it turns like all blue around him or whatever.
No.
Is it
it's
that one?
What fucking movie? It might be Carpenter.
Movie.
It's like this. There's a lot of movies where this effect, like they wake up from the dream and you think, oh, they're safe now, and he turns his head and like that they're still in the dream.
Yeah. No, that definitely happens in The Mouth of Madness in a bus, for sure. I don't know if that's the one you're thinking of.
But it's basically that effect. It's almost like that same effect in this one. We're like, oh, okay, now they're back in reality. They save the girl.
Yeah.
And then they walk into the bathroom. It's like, oh wait, no, they're still in the dream. You know, or whatever world they're created.
Yeah.
Like you thought you were safe now, or like, oh, you thought you had your bearings. Like, okay, at least they're back in the real world. They saved the girl.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, no, it's not.
But it's like a good thing.
It is a good thing.
No, yeah. Normally it's a bad thing. Like, this is a good thing. Yeah. I almost mentioned at the beginning where Blake mentioned In the Mouth of Madness at the beginning of the episode. I was like, that's actually... It is similar in terms of, like, fiction becoming reality, but for Carpenter it's like a bad thing in that movie. And this one it's a good thing, you know?
Yeah.
And it's basically that kind of control, where, like, fiction as reality is a bad thing because, like, you're basically losing your control. You're giving your control up to someone else for Carpenter or something.
Yes, absolutely.
But this is, like, the opposite, you know? Where like Rivette wants you to be like the creator of your fiction.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then the girl's just like, oh, what are we gonna do now?
We'll go boating. They finally went boating. The title is not a clickbait, you know.
No.
Thank God.
And this is like part of the movie. Is like, I mean, the movie could have started here, maybe. You know.
Yeah.
Yep.
And but they also see all the characters on a boat too.
Yeah.
And they're like still as fuck too, which is like kind of creepy.
No, it's like a great shot of both them kind of like passing each other on the water.
It is a very creepy shot.
Yeah, they're like, why are they so still? Like, shit. move a little bit. And then as you kind of said earlier, like Celine wakes up on the park bench, like this opening scene reverses.
The classic.
What's the last shot too?
Cat.
The cat watching.
Yes, sir.
So is this all?
What opened it too.
I mentioned Jonathan Romney when he introduced this movie on YouTube. He says I'll quote him. He said, "I like to think the cat dreamed the whole picture."
That's some like Alice in Wonderland shit.
Because the cat is actually the very beginning.
The cat
he shows a
is-
lot of the cat. Watching her watch.
The cat's always
Celine,
there when
basically,
when they like walk out.
Basically, the cat is a
house.
watcher too.
Yeah,
like, just watching what's going on. Also, cats are very mysterious. You know.
No, yeah.
That was one of the unsatisfactory things at the beginning of the movie. You could say he didn't let me see how the cat's prey played out. Basically, like he was like getting ready to like prance. He was in his prancing stance about to like pounce on something. He didn't let it play out. Actually, I guess he did. That's the movie, but
yeah, I guess so. But Celine and Julie go boating. I'm curious how many times longer we went on Celine and Julie boating this time compared to last time.
a lot of
Gotta compare it.
Yeah. We'll have to measure that out.
Probably.
That's crazy. But that's Celine and Julie go boating. Great movie. Amazing, really. And then after the break, we'll get into Le Pont du Nord. Talk about Jacques Rivette's 1981. It's 81 or 82.
Oh, I just had it. 81.
81 film Le Pont du Nord. This is actually the only episode we're actually going out of order a little bit. Because if you notice, I sent y'all the schedule.
Yeah, Duelle and Noroit between these two, right?
Yes, they are. Which, I mean, you'll see, because those two, they kind of were, those two were made as a part of a trilogy. Mm-hmm. That was actually supposed to end with Story of Merlin and Julienne, but then he, like, abandoned it or whatever until he came back to it later. You know, and now it's kind of different. Like, I think it became a bit different from what he was originally planning, but yeah, I feel like this one, it kind of matched better with Celine and Julia boating, because they kind of have some similarities with, like, you know, like the two female leads.
This kind of
meeting of them,
like this kind of fairy tale aspect.
Like the almost like real life becoming a game. Obviously, but I think that's just a Rivette thing. But like just the two girls going through it together. Interesting movie.
Also, this one's like more sinister. I feel like.
No, it's definitely Paris is a lot. He's portraying Paris. He's showing a lot more of the ugly parts of Paris.
Yeah, it seems like that.
Which I think is like, and like why it's like a pro. He's like, he's saying something about like industrialization and kind of like modernization.
Definitely feels like that. There's a lot of shots of industrialization.
Like a lot of people say like it's like because this movie is like it's about like 1968, like the '68 riots or whatever. Like how Paris is kind of like it's far gone from that. Because like a lot of reasons in this movie, you'll see people saying like it's kind of like these two girls are almost like idealists in a way, running into kind of like the reality of modern Paris, Paris at the time, for them.
Yeah. And
kind of like I don't know, being almost like like reacting to it, I guess. But there's like it's an interesting movie. I'll ask y'all's overall thoughts though. Blake, if you want to.
Oh, yeah, I really liked Le Pont du Nord. I think I said earlier, like, it did take me probably 45 minutes, because Daniel was saying it felt longer than Celine and Julie. I disagree. I don't think it feels long. It took me a sec to get into it. But once, I don't know what happened, but about like 45 minutes and I kind of like just really got into the movie. I think it was the moment that they pulled out the map of Paris.
Yeah.
And then like actually like had the drawings of like what the guy like made, and they were comparing it to like a board game, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then after that I was like, okay, I kind of like this movie a lot.
Yeah.
But
it was really interesting.
it does feel sinister, and it definitely is like, it does have that like surveillance state stuff. But it's just like, it's also just really funny. It's really funny and fun to watch.
No, it's a funny movie for sure.
Like, I love these two girls also. Like, I don't want to say I love them more than Celine and Julie, but the young one,
oh, she's hilarious.
She's hilarious. Like, she's great. Like,
she has a little bit of the tism, but like in a good way.
Exactly. In the best of ways.
In the best of way possible.
And I've already said how much I love this ending. Like, I wasn't expecting it. But whenever the credits rolled, I was like, yes, this was an amazing ending. But it has the thing of like the mysteries that you were talking about. Obviously, this one's more of a conspiracy, but it also has the mystery of just like this mysterious man that just appears and like tries to like get them to like actually like change their lives and flee, like leave the city, and like because basically that's the only escape from death, you would say, is like actually fleeing the city. But I don't know. It's a very interesting movie. At first watch, obviously, so I'm missing a shit ton.
I'm still missing it. I think it's a movie that's kind of intentionally obtuse in a way.
Yeah. But I already said like it definitely has a lot of things to do about fate, or it has a lot to do with fate, because the young girl, she heavily believes in like fate and predestination. Whatever's gonna happen is already gonna happen. Yeah. But she's the one that lives at the end. Like the one that doesn't believe in that is the one that you would say is the one that is predetermined to die, because she's literally wearing red this whole movie. Like she's the one that's been marked by the government for death, and it's just like she's the one that's predestined to die, and she does die, but she doesn't believe in that. And then the one that's not and does believe in all that is kind of the one that's led away by this strange man that just kind of saves her.
She's the one that gets this fantastical ending.
Yeah.
That's like not predestined in any way. It's like unpredictable.
Yeah.
And you would think she's the one that should be, because she's the one that ends up killing someone too.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I think she's like kind of the crazy one, you know.
Yeah, she's the one that points out all the maxes.
Yeah. But there is maybe something to the like we've been talking about. Like, she's willing to kind of create this own world. Maybe that's why she's able to get out of it or something. I don't know, something like that. Okay. You know. Yeah. That's like, we see it as a weakness. Like, she's kind of in her own world. But like Rivette's almost like a strength. You know. Yeah. But that doesn't mean like the other character like she's necessarily all bad or anything.
Oh no.
She definitely also like honestly it feels like both of them are Rivette, like or aspects of it maybe or something, because it's like watching them, I feel like we sympathize with both of them at various points.
Yeah, I don't think Rivette dislikes any of his characters, to be honest. Like, at least his main character.
See, that's a very Renoir thing. Like, and I mentioned that specifically with Ray too. It's like he got that specific Renoir. It's like you're filming real people, like that's how you should be treating it, you know, even when you're filming fake movies, you're filming real people.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, you know, most people, they feel like when you're filming a movie, it's not real people. Yeah. That's why you can have like these very clear lines of good and evil. No, yeah. This is kind of off topic, but now that I mentioned this, like I've been listening to this Rosenbaum interview when he talks about how like this is funny, but he was like talking about the prequels of Star Wars. He's like he thinks they're basically like fascist movies. But like a lot of the reason for that is basically the way they treat good and evil. Yeah, it's like he thinks like people understand like how much Star Wars had a cultural influence on how like people treat good and evil, and they take that to the real world. And he talks about like the Gulf War and like the Cold War and stuff. How people like use those terms of good and evil like the same way they learn it from movies. Yeah. You know, they apply it to real life, good and evil. Like we're seeing it now in like Israel and Palestine stuff. Yeah. Like they treat morality the same way they would like they were watching a movie, because that's how they're watching on TV the same way. You know, interacting almost the same exact way. Versus like Rivette, like he's treating his movies the same way he's treating real life. You know, the same way. Like there is no good and evil, right? They're just like people that we can agree or disagree with. But but also there's real consequences too. That doesn't mean like even in a magical film, like there's still death, you know.
Yeah. There's still the death of love.
Yes, as well. Yeah, like, it makes it like doubly sad at the end.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. But do you like it? Or...
I do. I find a lot of things. I need to watch it. I just like a lot of it's going on, and then
There's a lot going on.
There's probably a lot of political stuff too. I'm not seeing.
No, yeah.
About like pairs from like this whole 70s, and then he's making this in the early 80s or whatever.
And I mean, you kind of brought up, you both already have kind of brought up how Rivette is a watcher, and it's so funny, so good how the young girl like is stabbing out all of the eyes of all these posters.
Yeah,
that's a surveillance thing, I think. Like,
like she's rejecting being watched.
Yeah, they're all Maxis. The posters are
Maxis. They're all Maxis.
The Kagamusha poster.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
That one was hilarious.
Like, I was like, yeah, if Blake doesn't love that, you know.
That probably keeps the movie very because Kagamusha probably came out around this time actually.
80. I think Kagamusha came out in 80 actually.
Yeah, so it must have been like while they were filming this, and there was like another. I think that Clouseau movie, The Prisoner or something.
Yeah. Cats are fighting.
Cats are not fighting. They got the nighttime zoomies.
Like, what's going on right now?
There's too much going on. I wonder, honestly though, it's kind of funny to think about. I wonder if that's like a subtle diss at Kurosawa.
What they wants to.
Because didn't Rivette and like the Frenchman guys like don't dislike Kurosawa or something? Although I think they might have went back. I think they went back.
Did they dislike?
Because remember I remember like reading like Godard saying like, oh, Mizuguchi is like so much better.
Well, yeah, they all loved Mizuguchi the most.
So I'm pretty sure they're like dissing Kurosawa.
Yeah, well, because he's like more like Western or whatever.
Yeah, but I think I'm pretty sure I read something like I forgot who like apologized like went back on it or something. It might have been Rivette. I don't know. I don't remember. I just think it's funny, like, oh, what if they're, like, dissing Kurosawa by doing that? Like, by her, like, I don't know.
Dissing one of his best movies?
I'm trying to instigate.
Like, geez.
I don't know.
Later,
if there's a diss, I mean, just, like, Rivette would never make a movie like that, you know? That kind of scale over. But there's another, like,
But Kagemusha is about dreams. Yeah. It's about dreams and doubles. Who's the real you? Doppelganger.
Wait, what's the other movie we see though? It's like the Prisoner or the something.
Yeah, it's a close-up movie. Yeah, it's a close-up.
I don't know if it's Prisoner though.
I think that's what it was.
It's something like that.
Prisoners.
Yeah. Okay. I've actually seen a close-up movie.
Oh yeah, Women in Chains, La Prisonnière. It's a great poster. Holy shit.
I mean, yeah.
Which hey, that's also the movie Women in Chains. This movie, I mean.
But according to Luke's theory, he hates it.
I hate what?
Because we also see that poster in the movie too.
I hate. Wait, what do I hate?
Woman in Chains, the movie, the Clouseau movie. Rivette.
I hate it.
No, Rivette hates it.
I think you said I hated it.
No, Rivette.
Oh, okay.
No, but she doesn't try to stab that one.
She doesn't.
No, yeah.
It doesn't have any eyes.
No, in the Kagamusha one, she tries to stab it, and then she like.
No.
Which the other girl grabs her hand.
Yeah, which I mean, it's kind of all time, but Rivette does have some great reviews trashing movies. Like if there's a famous one, you know, Pontecorvo, the guy who made Battle of Algiers.
Oh yeah.
There's a famous Rivette review of one of his films, Capo, which is about like the Holocaust or whatever. And like this is like actually it's an interesting point because it's kind of Rivette talking about like how he finds like form and content kind of inseparable or like. There's a famous like it was a Godard quote or like some French critic that said like morality is a question of tracking shots or whatever. It's like a famous
It was
quote.
Godard quoting someone else.
Yeah.
I forgot which he was quoting.
Because there's a shot in Capo where apparently the director like makes a movement or whatever towards like a dead person's hand or something, a dead prisoner's hand. Like there's like camera movement that like insinuates it, and like Rivette like trashed it and was like that's just like bullshit or whatever. It's a famous like. This is the movie, but anyway,
I need to be reading more about that for that context.
Yeah,
I haven't seen Battle of Algiers either, so because I know
I liked it when I watched it, but anyway, but yeah, I do love this movie too. I still don't completely understand it, but I think it's I think it's a movie that's intentionally obtuse. I just love kind of like the almost just like real life becoming like a board game in a sense, and it's like kind of how it reveals like the more magical parts. As it goes on, and honestly, I think this movie is just fun to watch. Like as much Rivettes, even if I don't, you know, it is very abstract. Like it's just fun to watch. Like there's just little things that happen throughout that like keep me interested. But yeah, we can get into it. Movie starts with a intertitle, October or November 1980, already a long time ago. And basically, yeah, we meet, is Baptiste on a motorcycle. She like checks her pocket watch. And then she says, Babylon for both of us. Which I don't know if she's like trying to like say like Paris is Babylon or something. That's what she means by that?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I wondered why her name was Baptiste, because that's obviously a very religious name.
Yeah,
Damn, no, like she's like a prophet or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, Babylon for both of us.
It's like a city that's like, I didn't even think of it from that perspective. But
Yeah.
Because like the tracking shot of her like on the motorcycle like going up to the lines for the first time, you could read that a lot of different ways. Like is she coming into the city, like the city of sin, basically?
Yeah.
Actually, we just talked about another movie where Babylon was also another city compared to
Jonah?
in
in
the chess players. Lucknow was considered like the Babylon of the East.
Oh, yeah.
For like basically like being like where like a degradation of Muslim culture where they're allowing gambling and stuff, you know.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, the chicken fighting scene we see in that one.
Yeah, damn. It's interesting. Yeah, I guess we're kind of getting introduced because Marie is like released from prison or whatever.
Yeah, I didn't even like see. I didn't know that this first time. It only took me a while till I realized he was released from prison.
Yeah.
She only mentions it like later on, I think.
Yeah, you kind of just like she kind of casually mentions it.
Yeah, but not, like now it makes sense. Like I'm like looking through these shots, some of the screenshots I took, like where she's like on the bench, just like relaxed, with her arms out. I'm like what did she just come out? I didn't know exactly what she came out of.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like she's not dressed like, you know, like a normal movie. You know, we always bring up this like theoretical normal movie. But a normal movie, if someone comes out of prison, we're gonna know like, oh, they don't have disheveled clothes, or even still in their prison uniform for some reason, or something, or like some oversized suit.
Yeah. But you really can't tell.
Yeah, no. But like you can tell, like now that I know, like she's like the way she's like just enjoying the air and stuff.
Yeah.
That's how you can tell. Like the way she like sits on that bench, she like just extends her arms out.
Yeah.
Or like later on, like it's like one of my favorite shots of the movie. She's like, it's like on this bridge with like the huge netting or whatever, and the huge cage. And she just has her arms almost like just hang, like she has her arms like hanging like almost like a cross.
Yes,
you know? But just like basically like almost like enjoying her freedom.
Yeah, pretty
feels like
thing.
Yeah. Just like walking around and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, like then Baptiste, there's like a weird scene where like she like, I guess it's like you don't know what's happening in this part because that's like the main Max. That's the part. It's like this guy's like the main Max guy, but there's like a bunch of Maxes though. So is he one of the Maxes or is he the?
I think he's one of the Maxes. She says.
But he's like the prominent one though. He's like the one that shows up the most for us, I guess. He's the balding guy, and basically, yeah, she like goes up to him and like mean mugs him basically.
Oh yes.
Is this the one the mysterious guy that I call him?
The balding guy.
The balding guy.
Yeah, at the very end too.
Yeah.
He fights her.
Yeah.
It's like we first meet him. Like, but like you wouldn't even know that when you're first time watching it because
this guy's awesome. He's probably my favorite character in the movie, honestly.
Yeah, he's just
He just randomly appears like most of the time and tells them to do like things differently.
Yeah, that's a common trait. There's a lot of men that do that in Rivette movies. We're going to talk about
just randomly appear. And
give
like, advice.
Yeah, and like reoccur like that. Like Gang of Four, there's a guy. Up Down Fragile, there's a guy. There's probably some other ones too. Yeah. We get.
Wait, sorry. I just thought of this though. This is kind of random, but who's playing Rivette in the Linklater movie?
Oh God, I don't.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
Let me look it up. That's alright. I should.
Oh no.
Wait, is the cast already out for that movie?
Yeah, there's a trailer, isn't there?
Oh damn!
I didn't even see that. I know, like it like premiered at Cannes or whatever.
Damn.
Okay. Yeah, it's called The Noel Bit. Yeah, it's supposed to come out this year.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Hey, it's Linklater though. You never know. Could be good. Linklater's been okay.
No, he's
it looks like a lot of French actors though. So.
Oh, he won't. So like like Tom Holland won't be playing Rivette. Basically, what you're saying.
There's a John Cocteau
Oh god, I know there's a Brisson, right? Someone's playing Brisson.
I'm not seeing it in the cast list, but yeah. I mean, as much as he's talked about Brisson, there better be. I even heard him talk about the filming of and like his awesome
them running into each other.
Yeah,
why he's making Pickpocket and Breathless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be in there somehow.
Damn. What if he butchers Brisson so badly though? He's like, Brisson shows up. Yeah, I love actors. I love the actors. Anyway, yeah, we get that a great one. Honestly, one of my favorite scenes, like just like to watch, is like when she's circling around the lion statue with like the music playing. It's like one of the only parts where there's music playing.
There's Rossellini's in it.
Oh god,
Rossellini's in the movie. They still
I'm just like going through the cast and like I have to see the names that come up. But
damn, we're gonna be like MCU fans if we go watch it. Like, let's clap for Prasad.
Where's our 3 seconds to clap?
We're doing it now. We're doing that now. The idea's in my head.
Like this is like our Minecraft. Like
we don't pop. What's our
honestly? It should be like that. We should have a drinking game or something though.
In the theater?
Yeah, fuck it. Why not?
Bro, I'm.
We live. I mean, no. We can take an Uber. No,
I'm gonna do it. Like, like you saw the video of like people bringing the chicken to the theater. Like when that scene happened, like someone brought a live chicken. What will be our equivalent? What will we bring in? Like that's
our
like...
criterions.
Anyway,
the box that you have or something.
Just throw like the Bergen box at someone's head.
Like yeah, Varda's probably in it for sure.
I don't have the Varda box.
He sexes if his Varda's on it.
Dude.
Okay, back to the movie.
Yeah, but yeah, she goes around the lion.
Yeah.
Which I guess the lions are also like Max's apparently. Like any like statue basically is like insinuated. It's like a.
Especially to her.
Yeah, to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
But.
Which I mean, that's a symbol of.
We just did Potemkin too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking of. It's the symbol of the old.
Okay,
yeah, this old kind of like even he used the statues as like kind of watching them.
Oh,
like,
definitely.
Watching the people.
No, that's why I love the tracking shot whenever she comes in because it's like she's literally like she's staring right at the lion and the lion's staring right back directly at the camera.
Cool.
So.
But also at the same time, it's also like a great shot. I love how great the lion looks.
Yes,
like,
so good.
Like as it's like spinning around, as she's like going in circles around it.
Yeah, I think there's a Varda short film that has the same lion in it.
Probably
statue.
I mean, this is
like revolves around it.
Isn't this? Oh, okay. Isn't this like a big? This is a big location in Paris, though, right?
I mean, it has to be.
I feel like we've seen this. I feel
like
like
in the middle of the city, it's a statue of the lion.
I feel like we've seen this roundabout a few times. So.
For sure. And yeah,
she wrecks though because she's still staring at the lion while driving away.
Yeah,
no, she wrecks.
That's whenever. Yeah, they meet. Yeah,
this is the first time they meet.
No, because she actually blames the other one is actually named Marie.
Yeah,
the blonde one is named Marie.
No, that's what.
Yeah, Luke brought Marie and Julian.
Yeah, but that's what you brought.
It's like the same basically.
Trying to get you confused. It's like Ozu.
Yeah, like damn, bro. There's a lot of names out there. Dog. Just saying. She runs in. They run into each other. Baptiste is like mad at her, tells her to get lost. And then Marie like tries to call someone, and she like writes a letter to a guy too.
You assume Julian, right? That was probably the same.
Well, I'm pretty sure she writes a letter to the Matthias guy. Matthias. I don't know how you pronounce it. And then basically she runs into like Baptiste like about to stab the Kage Musha poster. And it's like a big ass poster too.
It's an awesome poster.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Just attached to a man though, a human advertisement.
Yeah, like she like basically stops Baptiste before she does it. That's the second time they meet, and then we see Baptiste like stabbing up another poster. She like breaks up the fight between the kids or whatever. Like is this like it's like cruel but funny. This scene.
This is hilarious.
She's like because she breaks it up and like tells like she like gives like whatever they're fighting over to the weakest one gets the prize. And then she starts walking away and then immediately they
immediately start fighting.
They immediately like beat the one kid up and take it from him and then she's like he's like calling out for her and she just like doesn't even answer like damn. I don't know like it's definitely like supposed to be cruel I guess. Or like just like that's like
She tried.
It's unfair. Life is unfair, I guess. And then this is then they finally run into each other again. This is the third time. This is what gets Baptiste to like. Well, she asked, they run into it, and then Marie asked her of a favor.
Yeah.
To like go to the hotel and basically like
deliver the letter for him.
Deliver the letter.
Or see if he's in there.
I guess I think she comes back with his number or something.
The funny thing is they both don't trust hotels because whenever she asks her to do that, Baptiste says something like, "Oh, hotels are like they're something to do with like the surveillance state, basically."
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the reason. Like, and Marie goes like, "Oh yeah, I know. That's why I'm standing out here."
Like damn, yeah. And then Marie's like, well, we see the balding guy again, Max, one of the Max, like the main Max guy,
Max Prime.
Yeah, something like that. And so Marie's trying to call the guy, and then Baptiste is just drinking water from this fountain or whatever. That's what I'm saying. She's she weird, but cool, in a good way.
She's a vibe.
Definitely this unpredictability to her.
No, yeah, for sure.
Which is funny that I say that because it's like Blake said, she's the predestination character.
Yeah.
She seems to be the. See that I think Rivette's doing this on purpose. He's kind of intermixing the two. Marie says she's all about freedom, but she's the one that's getting trapped in this love story.
Yeah.
This guy that clearly doesn't love her, Yeah. And she kind of dies because of it. Versus the predestined one is the one who's willing to kind of accept these different magical ways of living. You could say. She almost basically gets this kind of fictional ending, where he's once again merging fiction and reality.
Yeah.
The ending is almost more. It's the fakest part of the movie. He even does little
cuts to the
film kind of thing with the black bars.
The taste of cherry type thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Damn, honestly, I wonder if Kirasami.
Did you write a review on?
I don't know. Kirasami always. I know Rivette.
Did he like Kirasami?
Yeah, I know Rivette liked. I don't know if he liked all of them, but I know he saw some of those '90s ones.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But Kirasami, I was thinking the other way. Kirasami, I was like, oh, hey, he always said he didn't watch movies and stuff. So I never know. But,
damn. But yeah, this is when she has the scene with the statue with the headphones on. That this is honestly it's one of my that's one of the funniest scenes in the movie because she's squaring surveying her up sneakily going around it and stuff and just snatches his head off, and then just steals the headphones for the rest of the movie.
Yes, sir.
Damn, that's hilarious. And then Baptiste sees Marie walking away, and she runs up to her, and I think Marie's basically insinuating she wants to part ways now, but then Baptiste is if you're going that way, then so am I. This is when she's because then honestly, this is the scene where basically they I guess they're actually start talking for the first time for real, and because this is when Baptiste tells Marie her name for the first time, and she's that's not your real name, and she says, it is my name, the only one I have. You're the first person I've met. The city is vast, the streets, the people. You need me. And when she said she doesn't need Baptiste, she said once, twice, 3 times. Fine, once is an accident, and then twice is chance, but 3 times that's fate.
Yeah.
So it's her being fatalistic or whatever. Which I guess the fatalistic stuff, it makes sense why he likes because I've been watching quite a bit of Fritz Lang, who's one of Rivette's major influences, and he has a lot of a lot of his movies are very fatalistic. A lot of it are about kind of this idea we're talking about right now, how are we assigned to our fates, or how much are we truly assigned to our fate in a way?
How much can we escape it?
Yeah, because quick plug, Rancho Notorious is Western, starring Marlene Dietrich, and actually the main guy from Lusty Man's in it. Not Robert Mitchum, the other guy.
I was about to say Robert Mitchum. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Wes.
Yeah, the West guy.
I like him too.
It's amazing too.
He's definitely an easy third in the movie, but in the Lusty Man.
Oh, in the Lusty Man. Yeah, you know who I'm talking about though.
No,
yeah.
Good old Wes.
No, y'all should watch Rancho Notorious.
Wait, what's it called?
Rancho Notorious.
I'm gonna try to watch Beyond a Reasonable Doubt and maybe read his review, Rivette's review too. But
watch Rancho Notorious.
Yeah. It's a western though.
You like westerns.
With the leading actor.
Stop trying to sell yourself you don't like westerns. You like westerns.
Just stop.
With how many westerns you've liked, you like westerns.
I was trying to think which Chris Lang's movies I've seen actually. Because I did start as
because Moonfleet is another Lang movie I've watched twice recently, and that's apparently a big influence on Rivette. Moonfleet.
What is it about?
Oh, okay.
It's about like this boy, and like he like goes to like he goes and like his mother like dies or whatever, or like sends him off to like his like father or whatever, like that's like a deadbeat, and he's like a pirate.
Okay.
And like they go on adventures.
It's like Steamboat Bill Jr.
I don't remember that. I don't really remember what happened in that movie. I'm not gonna lie.
Mostly.
No, it's a great movie though. It kind of has the idea like I was talking about like how like Rivette have like a central like simple thing. Like simple, like thing they need to get. That's kind of like what Moonfleet has, but then like that's why how I read like that's the influence on Rivette it has.
Dang, Lang made a lot of movies too.
No, Lang. I've discovered Lang's bag is deep.
Oh yeah, you watched the Tiger Reshnapur recently, didn't you?
Yeah, that movie's racist as fuck.
You liked it too, didn't you?
No, it's good. It's just like
you gave it a fucking 4.
No, I mean when I saw Danny had like 3 stars, but I was like, oh, that makes sense actually.
Okay. No.
Yeah, it's like really. It's like
no, it's not even the racist part. I can forgive that. It's more just sucks.
I can forgive that.
I don't think it sucks.
It was like boring. I don't know. There was a part I liked, but for the most part,
The
it was
colors
kind
were
of boring.
nice.
I can forgive racism.
Hey,
I
honestly,
can't forgive
I was like,
villains.
I had started to watch Fritz Lang. I think that was the movie that made me stop. I was like,
Because when I saw the racist, because I saw you had 3-star before it, and then I saw the racist
I had
stuff.
started because Boonwell loves Fritz Lang too.
Uh,
Because I'd watched Destiny,
yeah.
which is like one of his like first silent movies.
Yeah.
That was a great movie actually.
Damn, bro, watch Rancho Notorious and Moonfleet. Let's go.
That's so crazy because he was also making movies a long time. We were talking about
Those are 2 of his late movies. Yeah. Anyway,
yeah, because like Destiny is 1921, and Rancho Notorious is like 1955 or something.
yeah, Moonfleet's like late 50s too.
Yeah, or maybe Moonfleet was 1955. I was just looking at. Yeah, Moonfleet is 1955.
Okay, yeah, I think Rancho. Actually, I don't remember. Anyway, but this is when they start like kind of having that debate about free will and stuff, because like there's like the moment where like Marie's like, oh, I can like step to the side like this, you know, and then but like she's like I can look up in the sky like this, and then but like Baptiste is like, but you're looking at this like star or whatever when you do that.
I love her like interpret. See, this is the thing. Like now I'm thinking more about it. I kind of like Baptiste because she's predestined. She like believes in predestination, but she's basically making up. Like
no, she has this like improvisational aspect.
Yeah, because she's like, no, you've just raised it towards a hidden star there, behind that big cloud behind us, like a white whale. It called your hand across space and all of the galaxies. Basically being like, no, actually the star across all of the galaxies called your hand. It wasn't you doing that. It's like makes it more magical somehow, even when she's saying it's like predestined.
Yeah, it's more cosmic.
And then
it's kind of what Rvette's doing. She kind of is like it's kind of what Rvette's doing too.
Yes,
like,
exactly. And then like
it makes something more
so
magical.
it kind of goes with Blake was saying maybe with like both aspects, but
yeah.
Yeah, no, that is interesting. I hadn't even thought about that until we're talking about it now.
That's good. Yeah, that's interesting.
No, because Marie's just like, no, that's not no, the star's right over there.
She's very stubborn.
She's like, stop being stupid.
Like, no, it's not at all.
Very stubborn.
And honestly, as a logical audience, you probably agree with her more, you know.
Yeah, I guess
especially in this scene, like not knowing it, I agreed with her more. You think of her, the other one as the crazy one.
Yeah.
Baptiste, you know.
No, yeah, that's a good point. And then she also says it's in one of these scenes. I think Marie says, "I don't believe in miracles anymore," too. Which I kind of
I think that's a little later on because she's like in this scene she's like, "Oh, my star is at the top of that building over there."
Yeah.
And she's talking about her her.
Oh, the
her
guy.
man she's been
Julian.
She's been waiting for, or he's been waiting for her, theoretically anyway in her head.
Yes.
Damn. Yeah.
This is the scene with the guy. Because it's funny because like you have all this like dramatics like sort of like she kind of like you would think they've been together for a while, but then you later learn on they were literally together for like a week before she went to prison.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's kind of funny when that's revealed.
Yeah.
It's like real very casually. She's like, oh yeah, we only meet you with like a week, but like you know, she says like you didn't forget that I like wide open spaces. I'm like what like. Anyway, then yeah, like Baptiste's basically just like spying on them though.
Yeah. Well, she's flipping the briefcases too, or making the plan right at this point.
Yeah, I think she's doing something.
She's
with
like
that.
tying the red string.
So I think she's suspecting maybe he's also
he's part of like the surveillance state or something.
The Maxes.
Yeah, the Maxes.
Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, and like she's like flipping. Yeah, she's like using the surveillance for her own good now. And then it's basically spying on them. She sees the balding Max like while she's spying on them and like sketches his bag. I think. Like and that's what it's saying. She's like she's plotting just to like switch the bags. I guess. And then like they meet back up. Celine's. This is when I called it. Oh my god! In my Pont du Nord notes, I called Marie Celine.
That counts as a mess up.
That's rough. Like Marie's saying like this is when she like just talking about like how like her history with him, her brief history, and like Marie like goes into these bushes. I don't know what that scene like moment was about. She's like goes into like this like bush area real quick and like comes right back out. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't remember that.
Basically, around this is when this when I think there's some dialogue here that's good.
Yeah, there's basically they're like talking again. Both of them are like talking again.
I mean, they basically have the briefcase now, right?
Not yet. Well,
not yet. Okay.
That's gonna happen soon. But then it's the second day. Because it's like the beginning of each day. It's like the first like scene is like just like Baptiste like practicing her like
karate or something.
Yeah, it's like
this is why I like her.
Though, like, well, I guess the opening scene of this is like them sleeping, but like I think she like quickly goes back into like she's like
the sleeping scene's kind of sweet too.
Yeah, they're like sleeping together. Yes. But then she goes into like full routine.
Like when they both work up on the bench together.
Yeah. Because eventually, like in the one of the later parts of the movie, she's like, "Oh, I'm tired of sleeping on benches. Let's like, sleep in the movie theater or whatever." Like.
Also, you get really used to her like waking up, day 2, day 3, day 4 of her every time they wake up of her like training these martial arts.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of satisfying to watch.
It's fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
She's locked in. She's on that Danny grind. So
I like it because it's like she's so obviously like not great at it.
Yeah, no.
But
I mean, she beat the dragon. She beat the dragon.
She's not great at
her whole life apparently.
Her whole life, not great at it. But at the very end,
she beat the dragon.
The mysterious man also says that she's good at it, and I'm like, okay, whatever you say, mysterious man.
She probably would beat me in a fight.
I mean, she would, but
yeah,
she beat me.
I'll let her beat me. Anyway. Yeah, they're like at the market. Marie like tries on these shoes and is like, "Oh, they make me look like Minnie Mouse or whatever." This random like line.
I do like the shoes. Well, this is like the out of date thing. Like, I mean, they just got out of prison for a while, you know.
Yeah. We see the lines again, but they're like. They might be different lines because they have water.
They're shooting water out of their mouth. Yeah. This time.
And then, I think Marie goes back to her lover, and like Baptiste is stalking them again.
Yeah.
And like the guy's like telling all these things to Marie. He's like, they stick it out because he has like something on the way, and like and then like proceeds to immediately like gamble all his money in like, this like card gambling game.
Yeah.
Like damn.
He's like, I want to test my luck. Hold on.
Rivette predicted Prize Picks in 1980. I guess gambling has always been.
Yeah.
Especially bad now, but. Oh yeah, it's hilarious.
It's never been easier now.
But yeah, this is when Baptiste switches out the briefcases.
Yeah,
and they basically find the briefcase like they find like a map of Paris that has like the markings and then like all the newspaper articles, which like basically it's the gist of it is there's this like political conspiracy in play that like Marie's a part of.
She was in like a gang. Basically.
Yeah, some type of terrorist
organization. A gang that was stealing from banks because banks were the ones
she got busted.
Were keeping everything from the people, basically.
Yeah, she got busted like in a robbery with her like partner. Well, her partner's like still in jail.
The young partner, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a long scene too when they're like going through it.
Yes, it is.
Like all the stuff they're talking about.
Well, this is more of the conspiracy shit where it's just like, I don't know what it means, obviously.
Yeah, she even says like I think like in a scene or two later, she's like, oh yeah, I don't know what the hell this all means. Like
it's just a shit ton of newspaper clippings and the map of Paris.
Yeah,
like drawn like a board game. So
basically, yeah.
No, this map will become important too, right? It's like the only thing that becomes important.
It is.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, I guess because
they give everything else back.
I guess yeah.
Later, and he's like, actually, that's the only thing that mattered was this map. This guy wanted.
yeah. You gonna give me everything.
That's why she has to come back at the very end when she dies.
Yeah. I love how he's just like. I guess we'll get to it, but like he's like just all of a sudden dressed like a magician. Like it's just so random. I don't know. I guess.
She meets the boyfriend again after the briefcase was stolen. Yes. He's like, I need my briefcase back.
Yeah.
She's like, you need to trust me. Kind of like classic narrative things, almost like a film noir.
He like gets more. I feel like he dresses more and more like a gangster throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Because now he has a fedora
like an
on.
assassin.
This is where it's like I'm saying it's like maybe film noir. I don't know, some kind of cinema thing where it's like us as the audience was like, come on, woman, like obviously this
yeah.
Well, I think
why don't you see it?
You know, I think a fedora on this scene.
Yeah.
Well, once we saw the newspaper clippings, I think the next outfit change is we're supposed to draw the conclusion that this guy might be an assassin or some shit. Obviously, so
like something's up with this guy. Changed. Like he's more dangerous than you like would think.
But like that's the thing. Like she's like stricken by love. Like she has this dialogue scene earlier where she's like, "Love is the only thing that matters to me now." Like nothing else matters. That's where it feels like she's more predestined than. Baptiste in that way, you know, where no, but also like the guy that plays this her boyfriend, I think his name's Julian. Yeah, damn. He's in the Milky Way. Holy shit! I was like, I know I've seen him in something. He's one of the leads in the Milky Way.
Oh.
We did that.
Yeah, we did the Milky Way.
Yeah, we did.
I don't remember anything from it.
Damn.
Not much, at least.
No.
There's like some religious shit, right?
Yeah.
He's got a very distinct face. He's also in Belle de Jour.
Oh, is he the main husband Is he the husband in that?
The young one.
Yeah, the young husband in
Belle de Jour?
Oh.
Yeah. No, he's actually more of this kind of character in Belle de Jour, like the kind of sleazy kind of guy. But in the Milky Way, I like him too.
Yeah.
No, he's in The Leopard. He's in The Conformist. You actually should like this guy more than I do.
There's no way he has like prominent roles in those movies, though, right?
I don't know.
You're gonna rewatch.
I haven't seen
like the.
There's no way he's probably an extra in The Leopard.
The Leopard. I mean, obviously you don't remember very much. I never seen.
I've seen it like 2 or 3 times.
I never hear you talk about Visconti. Damn, you guys pick him for a while too.
Because you guys don't haven't watched him. It's like hard to talk about.
That was true.
And you also roasted the shit out of him that one time. Because Ross Lee said he didn't like him, so you don't like him now.
No, I never said that.
That's basically what you're saying. Like you're like, oh, I can't get into him now. Like,
no,
I want to dislike him.
No, I think it was Tag Out.
Master Ross Lee.
Basically, it was like calling him a fake communist.
Oh god. I mean,
I don't know the whole.
I don't have an opinion on whether or not he's a communist or not, but
because he was basically calling out the fake distinct. People usually like, oh, Ross Lee was the conservative one. Visconti, look, he was the communist liberal one. When he's like, it was actually a lot more like grayer than.
He's mad at Visconti for the.
No, he's like it's much more grayer than that. Like Visconti was like communist, but like it's not the way you were a communist in America. Like it was a much more popular party in Italy, so like it wasn't like a huge thing for him to cross over. But and he was still rich at the end of the day. But
yeah.
Versus like the way Ross Lee they used to basically poor his whole life. Like,
did he have a Ferrari? Though?
Even when he had money, like he would borrow Ferraris. He would borrow money and spend it right away. You know, he was like that kind of guy. But that's very off topic.
Yes. Yeah, we already did the Ross Lee series, Danny.
Yeah. You brought it up. I didn't bring up Visconti though.
Yeah. Then I guess Marie gives him back the briefcase. Like, who said? Someone says, "I don't think you understand this. It isn't a game."
Yeah,
but like, literally, I think they said that multiple times.
Baptiste says that.
Yeah, something like that. But like Lily, like I think pretty sure it's said multiple times throughout the movie, even though like Lily is a game as I've also been talking about.
She also says a great quote of "They want to devour us with their eyes." Like I think it's while they're walking on like the train tracks and stuff. That's a great way of just like describing watching and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Because they take the. Well, no, yeah, I think you skipped some stuff. Like a lot of stuff.
Like a lot of stuff.
Because they're on the train. Is that what you're talking about?
I think it's just all a long conversation though.
Well, they go on the train, but they're on the train tracks later.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, like she like cause like they're like going somewhere to like start like investigate some Max thing. Like she like and like Baptiste's like helping her on the train and stuff because like
no, that is this thing. It's like right before they see this dead body.
Yeah.
That's this.
Okay,
like
you said tracks, and I was like, wait, no.
There's like a train track thing over here.
But that's like later in the movie, though. Then they're like.
I know. Yeah, there's also one. I'm like,
okay.
There's like something or like a bridge too.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it's like during this conversation. Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, she's like this one. I think she's explaining the max, like the maximum.
Yeah, she's got the spiders. She's talking about. It's like they want to devour us with their eyes.
Yeah, she's like sees a spider web of them.
And this is where Marie's like, in nature there is no good and evil.
Yeah.
And then Marie, the other one says, nature is in the past. Today it's all a disaster.
Okay,
there you
go. Like, I think this is when also Baptiste suggests that Julian might be a Max.
She's right.
Yeah. And then they find the dead body. They find out as a Max, even though he's like disguised as like a grandma or something.
Oh yeah, he's definitely disguised like just this homeless person, I guess.
Has like a wig on or something. Yeah. But this is one that I think they truly like. Well, I guess. No, yeah, because I think.
Well, they put the map of the city together with the map of the numbers.
And to create the board game.
Yeah, just basically create this kind of almost like their Celine and Julie moment almost.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, oh, okay.
Kind of merging.
I understand it now.
Yeah, like, yeah. Or at least like merging the two kind of game and real world.
Yes, yes.
Especially in at least in this case, it's not both of them. It's only
Baptiste.
Marie.
That's only Marie.
Or Marie is the one.
Baptiste has basically always been here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
She's always been here.
She's always been.
No, Marie has a quote basically saying like, "I remember this board game from my childhood."
Yes.
So
exactly.
yeah. Okay.
Damn, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then they go sleep in the movie theater. Damn, I wish I could just sleeping the night at a movie theater. Probably could do that more back in the day, I guess.
Yeah, freaking Malco checks the movie theater every night, so no way you can get.
I guess I don't know how they did it back in the day, but anyway. But yeah, they.
You can actually easy get away with it.
No,
I've seen them check it.
I've seen Wiley sent me videos of him checking it.
No, you can easily get away with it. Honestly, all you have to do after a late showing is when they're about to check them, just hide under the seats. No one's walking up all those steps when they're checking them. They're just barely, maybe not even walking in some of the theaters. Because I used to check them sometimes.
Okay.
I used to close the theater a lot. I'm like, no one wants to go walk up every step by yourself in the theater. It's always creepy as fuck in there.
That's very true.
Nah, people say it was haunted when I worked there.
Exactly. You're gonna hear shit.
Alright, you hear that here first, folks. You know.
You don't want to see something. Literally, you're like that's why you don't want to. You're not actually looking.
There wasn't a bite system. You guys had to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I was there, but I closed it.
What the fuck? Now Wiley showed me videos of him checking behind the curtain of the actual screen.
Yeah.
Because they have to do that, I guess. And he just every time it's just him putting his camera in there and go as he runs. But
anyway,
regardless,
yeah, this is when they really start studying the map. I guess the next morning, because there's it's like a seat. Basically, it's they're saying it's like a children's game. It's there's good squares and bad squares and traps.
Yeah.
And they're pointing out all the different areas they've been, whether it's been a trap or not.
And it's really cool because start at this one is technically the end of the game, or one of them says, or it's the beginning.
Yeah.
Because it's very I don't know. Both these movies have kind of been cyclical that way. Life just kind of is a cycle, but
yeah. She's the well is the scariest. It's to win they have to get across all the traps without getting stuck. And like and we also see like when they start going to places, she'd be like, "Oh, that's 42," because it's like written somewhere, and that's how they know they're at like a certain place on the game, basically. Yeah, it's really cool.
It is.
And like then they like they start like going on their little journey. They see the Max guy again. He asks like if there's anything that doesn't belong to them, and I think it's when like basically says like he tells Marie where to find
Julian.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's also that great shot too where like Baptiste turns her head, and there's just like a whole line of posters.
Yes.
Like almost just like looking at her.
All those like women.
It's like close up too when she like turns her head. It's
so
a great
good.
shot. Yeah.
Just like a line of women posters of the same
just
woman.
like staring at her basically.
Oh, those eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She gouges them all out.
Close out.
Like another montage, actually.
It honestly, it's like a Godard like shot in a way, like
because it's like it is the same scene, but he's like jump cutting of like
Yeah.
when she's doing it. It's like this kind of weird effect.
no, yeah. That's like also has like the pop art type thing.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn, yeah.
Yeah. And then Julianne in this scene though has upgraded to a trench coat.
Yep.
Doesn't even have the arms through the fucking sleeves too, so like he's really trying hard to be mysterious and shit like. And then like basically like this is when he's asking for the map again.
Yeah.
And then like basically like gets mad at her and is like, I'll tell you how to get a hold of the map, and like he hands her a gun, and then like basically they have to go like to this like abandoned building or whatever.
Just telling her to meet someone there.
Yeah. And then this is when it's all the confusing conspiracy shit like.
This is more of like the funny confusing though because like she goes to that place and it's just the Max guy again. It's just Max. And
all roads lead to Max. Bro.
Yes, and she just reads the message. She just reads the message to him. And he's like, "What?"
he's like he just tears it up. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" Like
she's like, "Was I not supposed to?"
I need him. He was supposed to say it, not you. Like,
and this is the point where he's basically telling her like her only escape from death essentially is to leave the city.
Yeah.
Otherwise she's gonna die, and she doesn't believe it. So
yeah. And then I think it's when Baptiste like gets like falls the other guy and then gets like the other guy basically like blows cobwebs at her.
That one was weird, yeah. Like that was more of the like magical shit, I guess. I don't know.
She like squares him up or whatever.
Because even the way like the blowing the cobwebs is like really cool too. It's just like I did like that scene quite a bit, honestly.
No, yeah. Even though if that happened to me, I would absolutely freak out.
Oh yeah.
Hell no. I do not play with anything spiders at all. I think then
Murray finds her as well.
Murray finds her, consoles her.
Yeah. Basically hiding behind these cobwebs.
Yeah, they like walk on the railroad and talk. And like there's the scene of Marie like pretend he's the gun and like points at herself for a second and Buffy's like no, don't do that. Like chill. And then I think that this is when they sleep in a car basically. They find some fascinating places to sleep in this movie. It's like
two homeless people.
Bench, a movie theater.
Just like looking for an unlocked car.
Well, I mean, if you think
I don't
about
know
it,
how nice this lady is though. She's like, "Oh, I'll give you 5 minutes. I'm leaving in 5 minutes. Just be out of my car." She's like not that mad about it. She's just
and then next morning, then they're wondering where to go, and then I think she says if Julian were here, he would toss a coin. And then I think this is basically we're getting to the end though. Here.
Yeah, these last fight scenes.
Yeah,
fight scenes in quotes.
She fights the dragon slide. It's so funny because when she initially sees the dragon, she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go fight the dragon." It's just the slide.
She says the dragon is protecting the bridge or something. She has to go fight it.
Yeah, I remember when I first time watching it, I was like what the fuck? Is this a joke? Like, is it just like I don't know if he was like playing as a joke, and then she went up to it, and then it just started blowing fire and like colored smoke and shit. Cool. I'm like, that's dope. Actually,
it is like it makes it feel so magical.
No, and then like
like basically how like grounded the whole movie's felt, you know.
Yeah, but even the way this is kind of a grounded version of a dragon fight. Of a dragon fight, yeah.
It's just a slide with a fire.
But even it's just one shot, it's just like so much of like.
It's
just
cool.
the fires is insane.
Yeah.
The fire and the
like,
mist.
Yeah, like the
swirling
cut
about
and
it.
then like when she like defeats it and like it turns
By
to smoke.
screaming, yeah.
Yeah, you know.
Like, damn. And then she kills the guy in the phone booth.
The phone booth thing.
She
is
thinks he's a
hilarious.
Max or whatever.
The phone booth thing leading up to her killing the man is so funny though, because like Maria's just there, like just sitting there, like banging her head against the glass, like
Yeah.
trying to make the guy hurry up. I'm just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, he deserves his no. That guy.
Baptiste's is like, no, he's a Max. Let's go. Let's rough him up. And then yeah, shoots him. And then I think Max then like comes to them and says like Marie's like on a hit list or whatever.
Yeah.
And like Baptiste is like wanting to protect her. And then this is when kind of the ending here, like Marie,
because they kind of get separated because Max is chasing Baptiste away from Marie, so that she doesn't die. Basically, as the way I read it, at least. Like I don't know,
that makes sense.
like that's why this Max guy is so mysterious to me, because like Baptiste, maybe this is her fate. Maybe this is fate. You know, like she's not fated to die here with Marie. She's fated to die later. You know, so that's why this Max guy is keeping her from this fate, from her changing her fate. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's also what leads her to having the amazing endings.
Yeah.
But
They both have their endings. Marie,
I was kind of shocked that she died. Honestly,
she's
I'm
like,
not gonna lie.
hands on the map and I've always loved you, Marie, and then shoots her.
I thought that she was gonna die this movie.
Do you remember the movie that has an ending like this?
It's Viva La Seville, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. It's the sudden gunshot ending, and it's just like even the way it ends, like just on the ground while the car drives off.
Damn,
Actually,
yeah.
kinda
I guess,
gangster. What were you saying?
Anna Karina also is. It comes up in a later Jacques Rivette movie.
The Nun.
Oh, she is also. I guess she is.
Wait, what's the later one?
She's in Up Down Fragile.
Oh, really? Wait, what year
She's
is
like
Up
the
Down
old,
Fragile? Was that 2000s?
1990. She's like old. She's like the singer.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
But I wasn't like, I thought that she was going to die, but this is not the way I was expecting it, basically.
Yeah.
Because, like, she's been wearing red this whole movie, she's been the one against fate, she's been the one that's being warned, like, if you don't, like, leave, you're gonna die. Like, I thought she was gonna die, this is not just the way I was expecting it, so.
Yeah.
It is so southern.
But it's like, this is like the death of love, too, though. Because he's like, I always loved you.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah. And then, Baptiste has the
The
final
greatest ending of all time. No.
dance off fight scene.
I vibe with this.
And it's like they start fighting, they start dancing, and then like he's like critiquing her dancing or whatever.
Dude, it's like whenever she throws the kick and it's like so bad, but he goes like, wait, that was actually pretty good.
I guess so. If he says so.
If you say so, man. He's like, you just need more practice.
Damn, yeah. And yeah, we get like the bars and stuff. It's super cool. Yeah.
The bars is interesting.
Oh yeah. But yeah, that's basically that's. I guess it ends on like the panning of like broken down buildings too.
On the sunset.
Yeah, and then that's the Pont du Nord.
No, it is a good last shot.
I also clapped. No, I'm shocked.
It is just so exciting, the ending, because basically it's just so unexpected based on how the rest of it's gone.
But that's the thing with like scenes like that can just come up anytime.
Yeah.
Like any moment, you never know.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the Pont du Nord. Next week, we are doing two very fun and interesting movies. I mean, they all are, but like these especially are like, to me, like the two of his most fun movies to watch for me. They kind of are similar in a way, in actually a lot of ways. Duelle and Noroit. So stay tuned. Hope to see you next time. I fucked it up. God damn it. Hope to see you floating through the clouds.
Cats and rabbits would reside in fancy little houses and be dressed in shoes and hats and trousers. In a world of my own, the flowers would have very extra special powers. They would sit and talk to me for hours when I'm lonely in a world of my own. There'd be new birds, lots of nice and friendly howdy-do birds. Everyone would have a dozen bluebirds within that world of my own. I could listen to a babbling brook and hear a song that I could understand. I keep wishing it could be that way, because my world would be a